Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. We're coming to you from the very cool, chilly gardens of the Ligony Club in Kingston, Jamaica. This is the Morning Connection on Best 100 FM. Better music, better vibes, and it is Free Flowing Thursday. It seems like Thursday is every other day. So it feels to me. It comes around so quickly. But it really is a delight to be outdoors. It's a bit chilly, but I'm okay with it. If you're watching us online, you'll see that Percival and myself are in post-Valentine's Day red. There's a definite glow of red on the set this morning. Welcome to those who have joined us on air and those of you who have joined us online. We welcome you. It's going to be a fantastic morning. I fully expect the day to warm up. Good morning to you, Pastor Percival.
Good morning. Good morning. As you have said, it is post-Valentine's. It was a lovely day yesterday.
Well,
Yes.
I see that your barber made some money off you. You
Oh,
look
Lord have
wonderful.
mercy. And he surely did.
Was that? Oh, you mean it cost extra?
He surely
dear.
did, you know.
I
But
think
it
that's a nice gift for Mrs. Palmer. Good morning to you, Mrs. Michelle. I'm sure it was good to see your husband's face again.
oh, Lord. She sees
We're,
it
we're
all the
rubbing it
time.
in. We're rubbing it in that
Rubbing
way.
it in.
We're making sure that you keep your barber very well provisioned. Morning to Lloydie back at the studio. I forgot my manners. And right here on the set, our producer who has got us out the chute nice and early. It's 6:34. I figure we'll just go until Lloydie tells us when we're going to our 7 o'clock break. That should cheer up Earl, who thinks we have the best job in the world.
Which
As
is
soon
what?
as we say hello, we take a coffee break.
That's what he says.
He says he
Well,
wants
Earl,
a job like that.
Earl is having great fun, you know. I saw Earl sent something online in terms of snow in a place called Breton. and the snow was like,
The height of a man.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's so amazing. They've cleaned it out and done what they did, and they're smiling. Him said, "Oh, what is the problem with these people with that kind of a snow and that kind of cold? What they're smiling about?"
I think they got warm cleaning it up.
That is true, because
Mm-hmm.
exercise a lot. But I'm still in love. See the lady still in her red and white. And she walks past us in her red and white.
Oh
Did you see
yes.
that?
Good morning to the Ligani Club staff.
Yeah.
And if you see how the dining pavilion is festooned in red and white balloons
Yes.
left over from the late night partying.
Well, there's party last night. I went to
No,
party last night.
they had a great Valentine's dinner.
Okay, here.
Here.
It must have
I
cost you
saw
a
the
great amount of money too.
Well, it was $20,000 per couple. So that's a little over
That's
100 US, 100 and
it's
something
going
US.
it's going well. But as
Yeah.
we continue to
And it
speak
seemed
of
to have been well supported by
the club,
the leftover trash that when I came in this morning and they were, cleaning
okay.
up.
So yeah.
Yeah, the day after. So we give a shout out to JD's Urban Pub. They do their best to keep things rocking here at the club. They don't let the special occasions go by without putting on a special meal. And last night was no exception. And this morning, I pray that the chefs remain anointed so they can give Percival his Jamaican breakfast in fine
It
style.
was only oh yeah, because you still have fast now.
Yes, Pastor Lowell and I are
Oh, you
still.
come in,
Yeah, we're
running
at.
towards the
Yeah,
end.
it's what, day 32? Yeah,
Yay!
day 32 of 40.
May the grace
Um,
abound to you today.
Absolutely. The grace continues to
Jo-
abide
jo-
and abound.
it's a good way to be. It's a good way to be.
Well, can you say how you spent your day yesterday?
It was great. It was a wonderful day. Surprises all around.
Nice.
And I spoke at a Valentine's dinner last night, and it was good.
And they fed you also?
They fed us all so that way. So I'm not gonna complain. It was a
Okay.
good
Oh, what did you
Jamaican
talk about?
fare.
You had been
It
talking about
was
love from early in the day.
right. So it's
They
love.
just
It was
rolled into it.
ignite the
Yeah.
love fire.
Oh. You brought gas? What you brought?
I brought some
What
gas
was
to
the accelerant for the love fire?
I don't know. That's just
What
reminding
Yeah.
couples,
What kind of group was it?
It was a mixed bag. It was a church grouping, but
Yeah. Okay.
they did it last year, and it's gonna become an annual event.
An annual event.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
saw somebody that I had not
Beautiful.
seen. The pastor of the church, I knew her personally. A good shout out to Precious Blair. But
With a name like Precious.
yes, she's a precious lady.
That name speaks.
Yes, but she was lamenting the fact that her husband was overseas.
Oh, so
I
she
mean,
was
she
on
had
her
own,
own.
and she was saying, "Why they keep calling about married couples? We are married people too." He just complaining, But we're just reflecting on love and just the fire part in terms of what love, what keeps the love going, and I was bouncing some stuff off. Why?
Yeah.
My wife.
Oh, so did you do a joint presentation?
No, she sang to me actually because I had some activities,
Ah,
make up a song.
early in the day, you were saying how beautifully she sings and you want her to sing more.
Right.
So
So,
you tricked her into singing
no, I
last
didn't
night.
trick her. They had the
You didn't trick
they had
her.
these no, they had these things and you must choose one. So
Oh,
I
and she chose to
chose to
sing.
sing.
What did she sing? You
And she made up
recorded
a
it?
song on the thing about you are
What?
my beautiful love and da 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 da. Me shall love forever. Yes.
Oh, so she have skills.
No
She
man,
can do
no man.
extemporaneous.
No man, she have good skills.
Yes,
Yes,
because
yes,
did
yes.
not take you on.
It does. But the love theme continues, I believe.
Well, does it ever end, really?
No, it doesn't.
And it shouldn't.
Because the greatest love story
Oh, something is in
continues
my head.
for us
Something fell in my head.
as humankind, in that Ephesians speaks to the fact that we must love even as Christ has loved us as we move towards becoming like him. No, because love is a decision, whether we like it or not, it is a decision we make every day. to love one another even as Christ has loved us.
Should love be effortless, Percival?
I think over time it becomes effortless as you practice it, but in the initial stage it is not. Because I was saying, Jesus says it has been said, love your
What? I
neighbor.
think it's the reverse. May I just say that before you go too far?
You think?
In the initial stages, when you're in the first flush of love, is it effortless? Is it harder?
Which one are the love? We love for
All
your
of them.
wifey.
All
No,
of
I
them.
don't know.
All of them when you
You,
first come to Christ, even in your ignorance of things,
I,
you're still
I
you're
was
zealous. When you first meet a woman or a man to whom you're drawn and love is blossoming, it's effortless. It's when you learn about his bad habits or her bad
I was
habits.
hoping you're not going on that road, But Mr. Producer, why should I leave it alone? Leave it alone. Leave it
Well,
alone,
no, but
Minetti.
I'm feeling like you got it turned around there. I wanted to
No,
provoke you on that
no,
subject.
I was thinking, I was
Yeah,
just thinking in terms of not when you meet that lady who
makes your pulse
well, who-
race.
who feel like they've never felt before. Not
Yes,
that one, but just loving somebody who is not that neighbor who is not very nice. It
but you
is
don't know that person is not very nice until a little bit of time. You move
yeah.
into a new neighborhood, place is attractive, everybody's friendly, they chat you up,
I-
you exchange, numbers, your
and it
kids
is
play
easy to
together.
love
It's
that.
easy.
You think
It is
so?
knowledge of people, habits, and you know failings that cause you to struggle with the love. I mean, I think. I think.
I was just thinking of moving to a neighborhood and people just don't like you from the outside.
Really? That has
Yes,
happened to you?
they shouldn't be here. Think of those. I think there was this movie about this black couple.
Let's keep it in the real life.
No,
There are
no,
no
no,
fictitious
no, it's not no
couple.
fictitious thing.
Then if it's a movie per se, is a movie couple.
But no, but they were highlighting something that it was true life, like somebody
Yeah,
wrote a
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Because okay,
You're gonna make me say what Lowell always say.
yeah,
That's not the people, that's the spirit. Because really, until persons get to know you and dislike you,
eh,
they're they're at the lowest indifferent and polite and courteous. But we're not talking love yet, because a first time meeting with between individuals who feel no mysterious pull of attraction, though that can happen. Personalities are drawn to each other. It doesn't have to be a couple type of thing. I mean, you say it in Jamaica, we love to say it, my spirit take her. Spirit not take him. There's
doesn't
a
that happen in terms of meeting somebody for
yes,
the spirit of taking? Say, yeah, I
absolutely.
love me. All right.
Yeah. So it's the spirit. And I think the theme of love continuing into today is really more on a spiritual plane, because God is a spirit. And the love that He is commanding us, that He has commanded us to show to one another, is at a whole other level.
That's true.
It's that love which exists for strangers with equal fervor
A good
as it does
Samaritan.
for someone you've known for a long time. It's that spirit that makes Jamaica so attractive in the tourism world, because we just seem to naturally have a joyfulness about meeting people, whether we know them or not. When you are being hospitable, you are expressing that love. And people feel it, because that's the other thing about love. If it's not authentic, genuine, people know. People know when you're just as scripture says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. You can't go through the motions and fool him.
Let love be sincere. That's what
Love
must be sincere.
must be sincere, or else it is something else. We don't call it love. I love love for
That's
that
why I love
reason.
Christmas, right?
That's why I love Christmas and Easter.
Okay. Are we moving towards? Because yesterday
Lent,
was
this
beginning
beginning
of
of
Lent.
Lent.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
greatest love story begins.
yeah,
The
in
countdown.
pain.
But
Does
yeah,
it?
it
Do
it
all great love stories begin in pain? I know I've taken you into, but since you were there from last night, humor me.
the greatest love stories begin in pain. Well, the greatest one I know is the one between us and our God.
Yeah, we did break his heart.
Oh my Lord. I can just imagine. Um,
And it did cause a rebellion in heaven.
I think the rebellion in heaven happened before ours, you think?
Um, I no, you know why?
Hmm.
It, the devil was cast down to earth and immediately went to torment mankind.
So the rebellion happened where first?
No, God created his love family, had us hidden in a garden,
Oh, oh,
just like men do.
oh, oh yeah, she got to another kind of love, you know.
No,
Let's stay
but
on
we're
the
made
path.
in his image. So
Let's
let's
stay
get it real
before the
here.
foundation of the earth.
Yes, he created his image bearers and had us tucked away in a little nest
I,
in the garden, slipped away in the cool of the day to walk and chat with his people. Percy is seeing it. I love
no,
it
I'm
when
not
I
seeing
paint a vivid picture.
it. I'm not
Next thing
seeing
you
it.
know,
But you know, let me just pause this morning.
envious Lucifer is there saying, "What?"
No, you think? I just want to pause to somebody
Yeah.
who is today is my son's birthday.
Really? Matthew? Oh,
Today
yes.
is Matthew's birthday. He and we have a funny story
You
about.
know you're a wicked man.
Why you say that?
Your wife in labor on you had your wife in labor on Valentine's Day, possibly. When
Well,
did
it
it start?
started.
She was big. Yeah, it started on
It
Valentine's
was it
Day.
was kind of funny. I prepared this
Oh,
wonderful dinner for her,
yeah.
and she says, "I need to use the bathroom," and then because she says probably it's a curry. She loves curry shrimp and done that. So I
No,
got the curry
it was
apparent.
Matthew.
And then she said, no, no, it's not. The
Because by
show,
this time
yeah, yeah.
she
So
had the experience of
yeah, right. And then we just until we went.
so what happened to the dinner?
No, she had had the
First
dinner. She had had the
oh,
dinner.
oh,
She had
oh,
had the
oh.
dinner
Okay, well then that
on
is
Valentine's Day because we celebrate, and so we celebrated on.
labor started on Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
That's beautiful still. You're wicked, but it's beautiful.
should I,
You see, all great love stories begin in pain
Mr.
because you know she's receiving her baby,
Oh, that
and that starts in pain.
yeah, and so Matthew means gift of God. So
That was the gift.
he was the gift.
Yeah.
So it is. It is. So I salute you today, my son. He it's interesting that he's born the same month as his dad.
What's interesting about that?
Because Danny is born the same month as
As
her
her
mom.
mom. Ah,
Ah,
now we're cooking.
yeah,
What
right.
about John Tate? What did
Ja-
John Tate get?
he gets his birthday away from everybody, so nobody can take away. But he's
When
at
is his birthday?
all the way in August. So
It's like all the way
in
in
August,
August.
so he's independent, and he's
Oh,
such an independent
the
person.
synchronicity had ended
I don't know.
by that time.
Didn't know about the synchronicity.
By child number 3, they weren't so synchronized. It's like you would just let him land anywhere.
Oh, but no, but I just want to celebrate. Great young man.
Yeah,
Great young
your
man.
children are beautiful.
Quiet young
Won't
man.
call
but
them kids. They
young
are
man,
young
man.
people now. Can you imagine, Percival?
I can
2
imagine.
gone through university,
I can
and one
imagine.
is at the doorway.
I can
Not to
imagine.
mention myself, but
Yeah,
I mean,
you mentioned.
I was kind of stingy. I only have one.
No,
May I
but,
see that newspaper?
yeah,
We're
but
back to paper newspaper. I don't know what's going on. My online thing. So first, I gotta announce we have a very special guest, 9 o'clock
yes.
this morning. I think many people know him through his YouTube shows. This is none other than Mr. Wilfred Rattigan.
He's the gentleman who brought the suit.
He brought that court action challenging the government to explain their behavior in relation to the
Camina.
Camina caper.
Camina Caper, yes.
Yes, with the Commonwealth leadership. But more than anything else, he and others are founders of an organization called One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. So it's OJLDF. I tell them it sounds like Old Jamaica.
But are they going back to the old Jamaica? Or are they
I
dreaming of a
think
new Jamaica?
I think it's a mixture of the two songs. I think
I'm
they
dreaming of a
are
old Jamaica.
that dreaming it must be in it. No, I think they are drawing on principles, ancient principles, that speak to good governance and the things we love to talk about. They're drawing on those principles to orient the new Jamaica. How is that? Yeah. So we have we have some points of agreement between what he's been doing and what we do on the program, and we have the opportunity to do something with him. I think we're gonna do more. We'll see how this conversation goes this morning. He's very busy on YouTube. A lot of Jamaicans know him for his plain speaking
Advocacy.
analysis of what's going on and what ought to go on. But I think he first came to my attention when he wrote the Jamaican government and offered himself as a candidate for Commissioner of Police.
And he's had a whole lot of experience in that.
Yes, you read it?
Yes, man.
Were you
And
surprised? I was surprised. I didn't realize he's an FBI man from the boots up.
And he's a trained lawyer. He's called to
He's
the bar.
also a lawyer.
But he understands the systems
Yeah.
of justice and how it works. FBI is big thing.
Yeah, and unless he's staying up nights practicing his Jamaican accent, he has not lost his Jamaican accent.
Not lose it.
Yeah, for well over 30 years, working at fairly high levels in the United States federal system.
And
he sounds
know what
Jamaican.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. I was just
Yeah.
4 pages.
Oh yeah.
4 pages, and I said, well, but it was very detailed, and he pointed out what he had done.
Right.
The station chief there, Saudi Arabia, all over the place.
All over the world. So
Yeah.
yes, some deep international experience. Suffice it to say, I do love what he and others are doing from the diaspora. And you know that on this program, Percival and I have spoken many times about the role of the diaspora in national events as dictated, as
Scripture.
prophesied in scripture. So I'm looking forward to speaking to him. So we're going to talk to Wilfred Rattigan at 9. Our friends from JPS won't be with us this morning. So you and I are, yeah, I think they're getting over Valentine. Yeah. On the front of today's Gleaner newspaper, or per se, we really need to give the Observer some love. That's how second child get treated.
Aye.
Yeah, really need to. So, okay, Observer, you should give us complimentary subscription.
Okay.
So we could cover the stories and see how you handle things. But there's an issue that seemed to be developing legs. Now, I started to talk about it as soon as the election date was announced, and you began to see the promotional material, the campaign material coming out, and certainly for the JLP, every picture of their candidate has the picture of the prime minister in the background, like how Mr. Trump used to be walking behind Hillary Clinton. Do you remember when she was campaigning? You'd see him slide across the stage and stand behind her. Oh, you did. It was hilarious. He never wanted the cameras to be away from him. And I would say, neither does our prime minister. So JLP candidates all have the prime minister in the background. So it's clear that the candidate's popularity is hinged on the prime minister's popularity. Now, that can be a big win or a big loss, because
it can.
many are not feeling love for the prime minister right now, given
it's true.
various things.
Yeah,
so it
because
could actually pull down the candidate.
because the last time they did this favorability rate, it had dropped like 30 percentage points.
Whoa, okay.
And I'm going,
So the candidates must be saying, "Oh God, please, not in my picture.
I don't know,
Give
but
me a chance.
I
Let
don't
me."
know, but but it really, really, and what is happening on X Twitter is very interesting, and what is happening
I
on
know.
Facebook.
Oh, I love how you call it a while ago. First, you just call it X Twitter.
X
That's
Twitter,
beautiful because it used to be Twitter. It's now X.
X Twitter,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, yes, I approve. I approve.
X
I don't
Twitter,
know what to call it. I don't want to call it X. What does X mean?
X Twitter.
X usually mean you fail at something. You got an X.
You got the X, you
You
get
get
a
a
wrong,
tick
you get a
and an
wrong bang,
X.
you get a wrong bang.
Yeah, so you know that the very wealthy Mr. man
Elon.
who owns it, Musk, must have some real sharp humor on this point. We'll call it X. Or maybe every name that was suggested, they put an X through it.
And says,
And
let's go
eventually somebody said, oh, he wants it to be
X, or
X.
let it be that. Oh
I'd love
boy.
to hear the story. But before you go to X Twitter, this headline that speaks about election takeover, concerns raised as political parties accused of having national issues drown out parochial talks at local government level. That's I don't hear the story yet, but I think the greater concern is more the candidates themselves being removed from center stage. I don't think it is bad that national issues come to the table because it's the national issues that define the parochial issues,
That's correct.
given the architecture of power that we have.
And how it has been set
Yeah,
up.
there's
'Cause
no
remember,
point we down there talking it up about parochial issues when the national agenda is in a different place. Those issues will never get to the top.
because remember, it's through the national budget that the local are funded,
Gets its pittance.
and they don't get their thing out
Subvention.
on time, and that was
Yeah.
a major concern.
That is an issue.
And so it does impact. And do you remember though, and I think I would really wish that people would use history, past history, to understand what is happening in the present. Because remember, parish council was put away with under the JLP. They said no. And it's under the PNP says, no, this is a very important thing that we need to have. And it was put in, I don't know if it was a constitutional amendment, but just that you couldn't willy-nilly say, no, we're not having this. And it's the same thing with the elections. Because it was entrenched, each time they put it out, they had to go to Parliament in order to get an actual postponement. They couldn't just before. We're not having it. So that is because I think it was Portia Simpson Miller who was a parish councillor, interestingly, before she became the MP. So she understands those implications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think? Let me ask you this because Mr. Lloyd B. Smith and
Was a
Dr.
former
Paul
MP.
Ashley have been talking it up a bit, and we know that those who speak oftentimes are the ones who shape the conversation. Are these two people relevant?
Me and Paul Ashley?
Yeah. Are they saying things that people need to hear? Because like this is a non-starter. This concerns raised. They're the ones raising the concern, the commentators.
That's why they're commentators.
They're
like
raising the
ourselves.
concern. No, I like to think that I am someone who will flow with the reality of what's unfolding and superimpose the principles of the kingdom of heaven on that situation. Because to do otherwise, to try and create a whole new narrative,
That's how they do all
is
the
to
time.
frustrate
Yeah, what is happening.
absolutely. So, right now, whether we like it or not, the local government elections is a mock exam for the general elections. That's what it is.
It is.
That's the reality.
And it follows.
The parties know it, the electorate know it, the candidates know it. Why are the commentators?
The government knows it.
Why
big
are
time.
these two men belittling what is obviously unfolding?
Because it is. It is. Because the issues at the national level.
Yeah.
If you have a prime minister, that's one of the issues, who there is a major cloud hanging over his head in regards to his integrity commission returns for 2 years. I mean, the
Yes.
third year now. That's a major thing,
Of course it
because he is the chief servant or the person who said to the Minister of Finance.
I know you want to talk about the oil from Aaron's beard that flows down. If
But
it's
it's
good
true.
oil, it prosper you. If
It is bad oil, you're not serious
cursed.
problem. So
You're cursed.
and let us.
And the oil not good right now.
No, it is not. It
So,
is not. It is not.
We've got to call it for what it is. So these two stalwarts talking about national issues overwhelming,
And boo.
I believe they've got it wrong.
And boo to them. Boo.
Boo.
Boo to them.
We're giving them Thursday booze.
Yeah, boo. Boo to them.
Yeah, no. You got to work with what the people are doing and saying. Don't come and try to create your own narrative of it. It's what's on voters' heart, and it's what the parties who are the ones in the contest, that's what they're pushing. And I believe that until we change the order of things, let me know what the national parameters are so I can pull my parochial out of it, because we're not moving from the ground up. It's top down.
And that's
Top
the
down.
reality.
That's the reality. If we should reverse it, that's a different conversation, because I actually think we should reverse it, because the people are the ones who should be setting the stage, and the managers, leaders seek to deliver against what is best for the people. You want us to take a break, Mr. Producer? It would be our pleasure. We'll take a break.
That's now 7:01.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
This is your beloved Pastor Percy from the Morning Connection. Support our commitment to Jamaica by joining us on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when we pray for the nation. Show us you care. Advertise with us. For more information, call our offices at 876-276-8935.
Good morning and welcome back. Ooh, the newspaper is noisy.
Let love.
Oh, this morning is Free Flowing Thursday. We're very pleased to welcome you to the Ligani Club. The sun is coming up, it's warming up considerably. Oh, thank God for that. Earl Brown, I can't live like you do, my brother. Looking at 0 degree and feeling cheerful that it's going up to 5 degrees. Just a little chill in the air this morning was enough to set me off. So it's warming up quite nicely, and I see people are out. Is that the pickleball court? Or,
Yes,
oh
it
no,
is.
it looks like a senior citizen teaching another almost senior citizen some tennis
Oh,
moves.
wow.
Almost senior. No, we're happy to be at Ligani Club. And whenever we're here, we're sure to remind you that the Ligani Club is one of Kingston's finest getaway, a real home away from home. Hotel rooms for your convenience if you're in town on business or you have family and your house full and you need a place for the spillover, the overflow. This is a real nice location. Lots of good parking. That's a plus in New Kingston, I'll have you know. And also, of course, 8 tennis courts, 6 squash courts, a swimming pool that is almost Olympic size, Percival tells me. Full service gymnasium if you're the exercising kind. And right here where we are, JD's Urban Pub, the restaurant of restaurants, still showing signs of last night's Valentine's Day celebration, red and white balloons all around and
That's why
glittery
we're in red
stuff.
today. I'm in red. I'm just
Well, I'm in
celebrating.
orange.
Oh boy.
Police, Percival is in red.
Are
And
you over the
still,
Ivory Coast? We're supporting the Ivory Coast versus Nigeria.
no, I just kind of ran out of,
Oh no, brother said no, brother said that. Stop, stop, stop,
I
stop,
ran out of
stop,
other
stop,
choices.
stop, 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 stop.
No, it was not based on the color this morning. It was something warm with sleeves and,
Okay, all
that
right.
wouldn't turn out to be oppressively hot later in the day.
Okay,
All right,
so
so we're happy to be at the club and we're happy to recommend them if you're in town. And of course, we thank them for allowing the Morning Connection to use their garden, especially JD's Urban Pub, because we're right by their dining pavilion. And the staff is wonderful and friendly. And I know they're going to come and offer us fruits, and only Percival will be able to eat.
oh yeah.
So we'll watch you.
And I'm
Right.
looking at the lovely ladies having great fun.
Waiting on
Carrying
the,
what? And she's like, okay.
doing a TikTok dance.
I,
Oh my goodness, we went to there's a really nice seafood restaurant in Salem on the way from Runaway Bay to I guess St. Anne's Bay to pin it down in St. Anne. A place called Sharky's.
oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
Sharkies. I've heard Sharkies.
We had delicious fried fish, and my son, I ordered octopus for Daniel. Yes, he will eat
Calamari.
octopi. No, octopus with the suckers, not the little baby calamari.
But calamari is octopus, baby.
Yeah, but and not the little ones. I'm telling you, the big one.
And
There's a
I know-
different eating experience. Little calamaris, especially if they're deep fried and you can't really tell what they are.
well.
But to look at those suckers, I tell you, Daniel,
So
is
how did he find it?
delicious. He loves it. Actually, it's
Oh,
not his first time.
Oh, okay, he likes it. Oh wow.
Yeah, we're just surprised that he's not put off by the appearance of it. So anyway, when we arrived, I saw a young lady, just seemed to be doing a solo dance. She's doing her thing and all the moves.
And you see
Then we went around, we saw she had her phone
Oh,
lean up against the
the
base
tree.
of a coconut tree.
Okay, that's a thing now. And a lot
Oh
of
my
people,
God.
yeah, but it's big business, because Usain Bolt, based on a recent survey, they were
Yeah.
looking at e-commerce, major discussion. They were saying it earns like, because of the amount of followers that he has, about 5,000 US per day.
So he's slowly making back the stolen money.
Everything-
$5,000 a day. It will take him a while, but
no, but,
he'll get
the
there.
base of the survey that
Yeah.
they can actually tell.
Yeah,
He's the top earner.
influencers.
Yeah, influencers
Yeah.
make a lot of money.
Right. Yeah, influencers, because you charge a fee and you post things on your whatever.
And the thing.
And we're not in that business, are we yet, Percy?
We probably should not
Yeah.
with the e-commerce.
All
But
right, before we took the break.
yeah, I just wanted which is where I was saying, follow God's example. Therefore, as dearly beloved children and walk in the way of love. This is Ephesians 5, 1 to 2. Just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God.
Oh,
Walk in the way of love. And Christ set that supreme example for
that
us.
sounds very much like the scripture of the day.
It is. But it just follows on. I was talking about love yesterday. And even as I was sharing with the individuals, I was teasing the gentleman and saying, if you get a wife and she's miserable, when you get a wife and she's miserable before you married her, you are responsible as a husband for the environment that you create. So if she's miserable before and she's miserable after, a roof of fault, it is them, the lady start to laugh. I'm just talking about yesterday, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That
So there are men who marry miserable women. I just always assume when I see a miserable married woman that the man made her miserable. I figure she was happy before. Which man? Which man a married miserable woman?
No, I was just you. No, but if somebody is away before, it's the point I'm making is that if somebody is away and it's not good before and
you're still gone with them.
Yes,
It's your fault.
No, but you are more even responsible for how they are in terms of the
Yeah.
environment that you create in the relationship. I'm called to love my wife.
Yes.
She's called to respect me. I'm going to Ephesians 5.
Oh, so we don't have to
31.
love the husband. We just need to respect him.
Respect him. That's his greatest thing. You respect the man and then good to go.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't really need love, you just need respect?
Respect is the greatest thing a man needs.
What? I see my husband over there disagreeing with you.
That's all right. That's okay.
Explain for me, please.
That's not even biblical.
That's
What is not?
That's Percival. That's Percival, not
It
biblical.
It's about love,
Oh, yes, it does.
which comes above every single thing.
All right,
And
put
you
on the
get to make
microphone
up
and
what I'm
jump
saying.
in.
A man's greatest need is to be respected.
Is this a man or Percival's?
Okay?
That's not even biblical.
Okay. All right.
No, I want to hear more.
No, but I just put it on the table.
No, you just can't just drop a statement and walk off like.
So that do. I'm doing a cruise on you.
Oh dear, no. Good morning, Cruz. Stop teaching Percy your bad habits. But you see, he usually say, "Have a good day." And, you can't say that. No, you're forcing me to go through the 4 principles of argumentative discourse. The first one is bilaterality. There must be 2 sides. You can't say it and expect that everybody.
So you
gonna
respond?
say. We've said no. We said no. We don't agree.
All right.
So now comes the second principle:
Which is
rationality. There must be a logical basis for what you're saying. What is the logical basis for what you're saying?
And I've not heard me does I say?
Oh, yeah, oh, this is no, but because I know
It's
you
called
do.
Percy's theory.
I know because I know Percy does speak to 1 or 2 distressed couples. Are you finding that even in an atmosphere where people profess love, but there's no respect, the love is not enough?
Right.
Even though there's that old saying that love is enough.
Love is not enough.
Yeah. I know that love between love as the world offers it is not enough. Let's put it that way. Because love as God defines it and practices it and exemplifies it is enough for everything.
Yep, that's why.
Yeah, that's
first,
that love.
Respect everything else.
You know, I love you
Corinthians
dearly, but
30.
if you don't get a microphone. Are you on? This is working?
First Corinthians.
People can hear you?
Choose not to speak.
You know, I'm demanding some respect here. I would like some respect. I'm going with Percy. Oh my God. No, we really gotta. Can you get a microphone sometime? Because what you're saying is like, I feel it's real important. No, because you're speaking, and I want others to hear what you're saying. And I don't know if you're shouting loudly enough. All right, somebody send us a note online.
I
Are you
just-
hearing the producer with his
I wake up the producer.
a person? You know, it's person's fault.
like it's something there's fault.
Oh,
Prime Minister's fault. But it was Manley's fault. IMF
oh,
was
IMF.
Was it Manley's
Oh, dear
fault?
Lord. Yeah, 'cause that worked well.
Yeah.
IMF. But if you say it's Holiness fault,
Right.
IHF.
It
What is
don't work
that?
at all.
That don't work. That don't work as well. All right. So the back page of one of the sections of today's Gleaner is advertising the debate, local government debates.
It's changed from the last time. Though,
All right. So here how the debate is set up. Oh, it's today.
that's what I was saying.
It's
And-
today
yeah,
at 9 p.m. on which station? Where is it?
All the
Stations.
I think it is CVM,
CVM.
BBC.
And okay, so everybody gonna shut down and broadcast this thing tonight, or it's just CVM?
CVM,
Axe
PBC,
Business Axe. No,
Love.
those are sponsors. But where's it gonna be? Does it say where it's gonna be? It's a watch, listen, decide, vote. Local government debates 2024, Thursday, February 15, 2024 at 9 p.m. Topic: local government policy and how it affects you. And this is the most useless advertisement I've ever seen. It does
don't-
not tell you where you can watch and listen.
I'm just assuming because they are sponsors and these are
They're all sponsored. They're all sponsored.
Mellow, Love, Cool, 93, Mellow, CVM, PBC.
So it's on all of them?
It must be.
They'd say so.
It's
Oh,
assuming.
jeez.
But it's something like that. Worth
Is it on Best FM? Do you see Best FM
No,
there?
this is not there. I say Edge. So all of these business, I think it's going to be doing it. But what I find fascinating,
Yeah,
you have
just the
raised a very
lineup.
important point. They've changed the lineup. I
Yes.
don't know if you knew.
No, I'm just looking at it now.
On Tuesday,
Oh, they
there's
have
a
councillor
lady,
candidates, yeah.
Patrine, but she's off, and they've put Alan Bernard.
Councillor candidate.
Yeah.
Councillor candidate.
Dennis Gordon.
Okay.
He's part of the
But-
council now.
Yes, but he's a councillor candidate too.
All of them are councillor
They're all
councillor
councillor candidates. Oh, so they listen to
So
us.
Charles N. K is a councillor
Except
candidate.
for Natalie Nita Harvey,
who is the
spokesperson on local government, and the JLP didn't add a similar person. So this looked like PNP only had 2 councillor candidates that they wanted to offer up.
Well, he's senator, you know. Charles
Yeah.
Sinclair. So he's a councillor candidate again, it looks like.
Yeah. And okay, so on the JLP side,
So he's a
Charles Sinclair isn't an attorney at law.
Yeah, Montego
I think
Bay.
so.
Yeah.
Right, he's a councillor candidate. Richard Creary,
He was the former mayor of
mayor
St. Mary.
of St. Mary, councillor candidate too.
And she's
Venetia Phillips, the turnback
she's a lady who, she was on the debate.
turnback PNP.
Yeah, she was on the other side the last time when they had this.
Yes.
Representing the PNP.
The PNP.
Yeah.
This is the lady that's been called a traitor.
Yeah.
And then Natalie Nita Garvey,
She's a MP. She's a member of parliament.
yes, an opposition spokesperson on local government. Dennis Gordon. I
He was
know
a
this
former councillor.
name.
He's the person who is representing, who's going to take over from Peter Phillips in the constituency.
Okay, and it isn't that he used to be with the
cricket.
JLP.
No.
No?
He's a
Okay.
cricketer. And then
And
Mr.
Alan Bernard, a councillor
Rastaman.
candidate, but they haven't said for which. They don't tell you which division. They just put them up. Okay.
Just me who
So-
know the people. So he's
Right.
I know him from, he's the Maxfield Park division candidate.
All right. So Maxfield Park.
No, he's
what-
Maxfield Park. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Maxfield Park. Who's Maxfield Park?
Dennis Gordon.
Okay. So you don't know, even in terms of geographically,
Where they are
where
from.
people come from, the urban-rural mix, so to speak.
Well, he's Montego Bay.
right.
He's St. Mary, and she's Papine. I don't know what's
St. Mary. So that's rural.
yeah, rural. And nobody from
Suburban.
Kingston. Nobody from Kingston.
Nobody from Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Kingston. I don't find out with Alan Bernard. But then
Yeah.
it should
It should be interesting.
Yeah.
It looks better than when they were just trying to. I like hearing from councillor candidates.
yeah. So it
So you're gonna
impacts.
tune in
I don't know.
9 p.m.
I bet that. No.
where you don't have radio in the morning, so you can stay up a little later.
yeah.
That should be interesting. Then now, oh well, oh wow. There is a Global Tourism Resilience Conference coming up. That's tomorrow, 16th and the
Friday,
17th.
Saturday. Where it is gonna be? Montego
Wherever
Bay
it is, Prime
Convention.
Minister and Honorable Bartlett have big pictures and are. This looks as if Nigel Clark is there too. Is he? Does he miss anything? I mean, you feel like the government has been narrowed down to 3 or 4 faces. Do you get that feeling?
Because them have to do that. This is one of them too.
Who is one of the commonly?
Savaz.
who is he?
Savaz is getting a lot of press.
Oh, you know, when we speak to Mr. Rattigan, I am going to ask him about a little known. Okay, I
know what it
discovered
is.
something about. You saw it?
Go ahead, go ahead.
All right. So I discovered something just reading about what's happening in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Which genocide is happening too.
Yes. And you know, every time I think about it, I know there's some of our listeners who are painfully conscious that when Africans are being slaughtered by whomever, by their own, by foreigners, whatever the case might be, it does not attract as much attention on this side of the world, or maybe anywhere, possibly,
That's true.
as when white people
Are being slaughtered.
are being slaughtered. And of course, you know, blood is blood. It should be, the concern should be the same for both. And I'm not saying that because we're not paying the Africans any mind, we shouldn't pay the others any mind. We should be conscious of both.
Because they are very important and precious in the sight
sight of our Father.
The Creator. Blood
Yeah.
is blood.
Blood is blood.
He came for, that's why I say, for God so loved the world.
Yeah.
That
You have persons who are even more passionate about the slaughter of animals than they are about the slaughter of Africans.
And I find that people are saying, "Oh, feed the hungry," and then you see these campaigns going on for animals, and it gets more support than
than feeding the hungry
hungry
people
in the world. Yeah.
in the world. So, reading up about it and examining the role of the Chinese in particular, because America's conscience and economics coincided, leading America to divest its interests, its mining interests in Congo, and the people who bought it up were the Chinese. So
The
Chinese buy
bought-
up all these mining assets in
Congo.
in the Congo.
That's for the rare
DRC,
earth mineral,
rare earth minerals, and very important for all the computing technology that's coming down the pike. So they bought all this stuff up, but now local interests are arming themselves and going for it, and the Chinese are providing weapons to both sides are
kill off each
using
other.
Chinese military technology. Yeah, and the government has to be providing armed support to protect the Chinese assets, and it's just sounds crazy. But one of the things, as I was reading in the fine print, America no longer purchases blood. You know they have blood diamonds? Well, now you have blood minerals.
They don't do it anymore.
They don't do it anymore. They're careful about not burdening an already, register of sins.
We have to big
with
them
that
up for
one.
that, you know.
We have to big them up for that. But they have another piece of legislation that was first passed to deal with Russia, which they have in 2012. That was brought into. It's the Magnitsky Act, which first came about in 2012 to deal with some Russian issues, and they've broadened it now. In
China.
2016, they broadened it to give it global effect. And one aspect of it is to take direct action against individuals of high influence, politics and otherwise, whose activity and behavior constitute a breach of some fundamental laws, whether it's how they treat people or assets or whatever. Instead of penalizing the whole nation,
We go after individuals.
They go after the ones, the
Individuals and
known actors,
corporations and all.
yes.
That's what they do all the
Yeah.
time. So even for us, and I think
So
you mentioned,
Jamaica.
you said it a long time ago,
Yeah.
that we have to be so careful, because even if people are seeking to do business with us out of the States, or those people, if you're messing with somebody from another thing who is under the radar,
Yes.
you have to be careful.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to sign to that.
And in a way, one could say even Carousel got
Yeah, because
nipped in that, because it is reported that American government felt that someone connected to the company was of interest in a particular way. So our government said. The Americans never said it.
or the Chinese, or because
They
they were
never came on
using
record,
Chinese
and they spoke about Chinese as
technology.
well. So
You know, it's way past 7:30.
yeah, I'm looking at. I'm waiting to get my cue. Okay. No, I'm happy to continue, because when Mr. Rattigan joins us at 9, I want to broaden the discussion to look at how even persons from the diaspora can push for that kind of activism with regards to some known actors on the Jamaican landscape that we don't seem able to get rid of. We can't handle them. They're too big for us. But they may be of interest elsewhere because their activities cross borders. We take the break now, sir? All right. Take our break.
There's
Good morning and welcome back. It's 7:40 a.m. Free flowing Thursday at the Ligony Club with Percival and Minette on the Morning Connection. We are the Best FM outdoor crew this morning. Beautiful sunlight starting to warm up the island, or certainly warm up the garden. And speak for the island because sometimes, small as we are, the island is doing all kinds of things.
Yeah,
It
that's
may be
true.
raining somewhere as we speak. It was so chilly this morning. I actually have something that I was using to keep warm, making Percival and myself look like twins, sporting our Valentine's Day morning after leftover red clothes, really looking like Percy didn't go home because
No,
he was out partying for Valentine's Day
no,
and
work.
came straight here.
No,
No? Have you ever done that? Just pulled
once,
an all-nighter?
once, yeah.
Was it for work? You showed
Work,
up.
work, work, work.
So you never left work and the next morning the people come and see you in the same outfit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mr. Percival, you never go home.
Right. I remember and did it. Yeah, we decided to do a 24-hour operation in the plant. And we had to do it. We had some product that need to go out and we just did. But it did
Produce
mash
all
me up,
night.
but it did mash me up, Baba.
See, that's the thing, you pay for that for all 2-3 days.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
You-
It really takes it out of your system. That's why I say to people, even persons who work night shift, and it really affects your circadian rhythms, which is how you set up. So, but some
Yeah.
people have used it well though,
Like who?
who work in the night and in the day
Have a day job.
and do other things, and that's how some people have gone to school, put themselves through school, and that kind of a thing.
So that's because a change is as good as a
Right.
rest. Remember I taught you that one?
Yeah, for them. So they've used it well.
And those who can power nap,
That
cat
can.
nap, whatever the
Yeah.
case might be.
I have the
All right.
ability to power now.
I do not have that ability.
My wife will say, "See, wake up."
You get ready to
Then
go.
and I was go sleep. You wake up and you come
No,
back.
what I have the ability to do is to go until it finish. I can't sleep. If I have an assignment, I can't sleep. My body will not go down until
You serious?
the job
And
is
then
done.
after it's finished, then you sleep for a period of time.
No. Even at my mature stage, I still have to be told to rest. Lowell said all the time, you need to rest. I'm like, why am my eyes feeling gritty? Sometimes I forget. And I'm asking, like, why do my eyes feel like this? So you need to rest. You need sleep. I have to be told to go to bed sometimes.
Or because you have that ability to go until
To go until the mission is done.
so your adrenaline.
Junkie. Adrenaline can fuel me, become my food and my energy source. I even sometimes I'm drafting late and I'm rereading because I reread as I go along. I fall asleep in the middle, because your body, so you get the nano where for like 10 fraction of a second you go and it will take me like 5 minutes to read one sentence, but I keep going until I hit a plateau where I don't want to, that don't happen anymore, and finish it, and then I can't sleep anyway.
Oh, jeez.
So you're there staring at the ceiling saying, come sleep, come. We have to get up at 4. Anyway, there's a matter that I want to raise, Percival. We were living with it as it unfolded. I can't believe it's so much time that Vibes Cartel was convicted in 2014. The trial was in 2014. So we remember the days when Vibes Cartel was public enemy number 1, says the law enforcement and government types. But I seem to recall that he was considered as being very influential also in a political sense. That is my recollection. And we saw him, they arrested him for something. The lawyers did their work. He was out. They arrested him again. In fact, it got to the point where at one point I recall, they arrested him, and while he was before the court and the court was granting him bail, they had him later on the docket the same day
And another
for
charge.
another charge. It was clear, absolutely clear, that law enforcement was determined to to put this man behind bars. There was such a hunger and an appetite to get him off the streets, get him out of circulation, because
of his
they
influence.
said he was exerting influence, not just leading people astray with nasty music or whatever, however it was being described, but having a great influence of a political nature
Oh.
on some young people in various parts. I remember that. I'm not a fan of his music. Yes, he does share Percival's surname
Yeah, a DJ
and
Palmer.
my maiden name.
Yeah, and he went to the school I went to.
Oh, yes. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really Percy relative. Have you been praying for him?
I don't know.
You pray for everybody. You really do.
In
You
the
don't pray
sense,
for prisoners?
yeah, man, I do.
Yes.
And interestingly, remember I told you about my son who was in. He's out now, so I'd
Oh,
love to.
so you're going to invite him for a chat one morning?
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna
would be
do
good.
that. Yeah, because
I would love that, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but back to my soapbox. Livingston Kane had a starring role in the trial which led to Vibes Cartel's conviction. I know Mr. Kane well, wonderful, conscientious. To hear that he was in this, and if you hear his story, I should invite him one day if he'll speak about it. Nothing you have read in the media accords with Mr. Kane's experience. Nothing. Nothing. But
Who was he? He was really.
he was one of the jurors. And someone, he was, you know what? I'm not going to tell his story. I'd love for him to tell his story. But suffice it to say, Mr. Kane never attempted to bribe anybody. Did not
So I'm going to
attempt
prison
to
for-
bribe anybody. Because in the slipstream of the appetite for Vibes Cartel, having made a certain accusation, they just had to finish it up. He's a loose end that had to be tied up, got rid of, whatever, tucked away.
You know the gentleman?
I know Mr. Kane he used to work for us at one point. Mr. Kane was a driver for us at one point. Decent.
Are you serious?
I am serious as a judge. As a judge should be.
Wow.
Decent man.
So they went to prison for us?
Yes. There was like no, once the report was made and the judge, can you imagine a judge as a witness against you? If that's what it is. If you were to look at
Jesus
it.
have
Because
mercy.
remember, a report was made to the judge and then it just mushroomed into something else. And before you know it, he was fighting for his life.
Really?
But the appetite for Vibes Cartel was consuming things around. And it seemed like it also consumed law and order, the rule of law, because
Process
the
became
same,
corrupted.
and it wasn't just this, what you're seeing here on the front page about a contaminated juror being left in the pool. Because after 64 days of trial, nobody don't want to start over. How could that be the state of the law? If it's 100 days of trial and something has happened which is in breach of what everybody know to be not just common sense, but good law and order, you cannot say, boy, it gone too far, we can't start over, make him stay.
Is that what happened?
Well, the privy councillors, since we don't want to let go of it, the white people in England have said that that's not a good enough reason to continue a trial because you reached too far. So it's
Story
listen to
coming to
me.
bomb.
And there are so many ironies in this situation because the Privy Council, same Lord Reid, who is on the panel too, the Privy Council seems to want to show Jamaica that they care.
Oh, because he said something recently.
Yes, he was the one who came out and said, oh, and you can do your appeal online. So now someone sent me the YouTube video.
So it
So
was
it's available.
Maybe
to
we're watching
see.
it live.
Yes, it was live streamed, the hearing. When we went before the Privy Council, because Lowell took the government before the Privy Council too, the whole place is mic'd and ready for that kind of experience. You don't have to jump on a plane and go.
But you know, there's a whole lot of irony in this situation.
Yeah.
You know? And one of the lead lawyers in this, Bert Samuels. He's
Yeah.
one who's been saying for a long time. Left the Privy Council.
And now he's there.
There,
So-
I just,
So that's interesting.
which is, I was just reflecting on your thing in terms of what happened with you with the GLC.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, we never go Privy Council because the appeals go throughout the thing
Yeah. And kept the punishment.
and kept the punishment. So it not making any sense. And you think if you had gone to the Privy Council,
I
you
would
could
have
said,
prevailed.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But you see,
At the very
Prince and
least, the
Prince and
Privy
Prince.
Council would have said, put it back for a retrial, at even unsanctioned, because with the Court of Appeal having defanged the vicious, poisonous findings, a panel looking at the issue of sanction with a different foundation, because now that fraud and dishonesty and so on were out of it.
yeah.
They would have had to look at it as negligence and be faithful to what could amount to negligence, or they would have had to go to a trial. I felt they would have had to go to a trial to see whether or not there was negligence, what happened amounted to negligence, and what would be the consequence of that negligence. I know that is how the Privy Council would have looked at it, because we have the benefit of how they've looked at similar things.
Yeah.
But how could I, on this program,
Having said
talk
that,
about getting rid of the Privy Council and living with the perverse judgments of your own court so you can fix the problems, the foundation, the cause for the perversity? How could I, when it came to my own affairs, say, oh, I'm off to London, while telling you
principle.
that you must live with it?
Live with
I couldn't be
principle.
in London. But you see, that was my own case. Perhaps what it is now is you're representing clients, and clients are saying to you, if it's the Privy Council going to save my life, please put on your shoes and go to England. Because lawyers are creatures of instructions. Their personal view of this and that ought not to matter.
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. But you come back now, a person of integrity could never have the stomach to go to a place that in which they have no confidence and for which they have no regard. I feel my disdain would show.
Yeah, but you're disdain, but I know you are the lawyer.
Yeah, no, I'm saying as a lawyer.
Yeah, I know.
If
But
I, as a lawyer, had to go represent you before some unworthy people, at some point I'm going to say to them, listen, Percy is 10 times the man you are, so you shouldn't be sitting in judgment of him.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
please.
God.
then,
Ah, Jesus.
then Percy would have to live with it.
Oh my Lord. Oh my glorious Father.
It's funny, you know how many times I see lawyers in court performing in a way that hurts their client. Hurt their client. The judge, they irritate the judge. I even saw one situation where the judge said to the lawyer, I'm going to tell the registrar, do not put you back before me with any case. Dismissed.
Why would the judge say that? Because the
The
person
person's behavior was offensive
to the lawyer.
to the judge.
Why? Because he never thought much of the judge, or the lawyer never thought much of the judge?
Well, he spoke disrespectfully of the judge's antecedents, like he would say to the judge, well, I don't expect anything better from you because you and she are friends, or that kind of.
Are you serious?
Oh, yes. I'll tell you about it after.
Yeah,
I'll
but-
tell you about it off air.
No.
And the judge says, listen, your case is without merit. I'll tell the registrar, do not put you back before me for anything. And I'm thinking to myself, but how could a lawyer behave in such a way, knowing that it's your client who's going to take the rub?
We're going to get the beating.
Yes. Yeah. Or even when, say, lawyers don't show up or are persistently late and the client is the one who is behind bars. And the judge sometimes say, you heard from your lawyer?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
And they paying?
Well, even if they're not paying.
No, sir. No, sir.
Even if they're not paying. I went to a scheduled procedure the other day, and the attorney didn't show up, and I know the attorney was paid. And worse yet, the attorney gave the wrong time. So we arrived an hour late because the attorney said 12, and it was 11.
Let me ask you a question. So, the corruption in the justice system is not only on the part of the people who are meting out justice, it's the people who want to get justice done.
Always. Always.
So which is
Always.
why they,
That's why when Christ was looking at the adulterous woman, he said, let him who hath
No
no sin cast the first
so we're
stone.
gonna clean it up because there is. I was of the impression growing up that you couldn't be a Christian and be a lawyer.
That's how I thought you couldn't be the president of America and be clean. As people were puzzling over Barack Obama. Saying,
No, so the
Yeah.
question is.
but
And
what
I've
do you think
discovered-
now? What
and
do you
I've
think
been-
now
I've
that you're
been-
fully grown?
I would think that there are persons who are principled as in their practice of the law, and they have integrity of purpose. Because I thought my friends know are lawyers, and I know say them not dirty or that kind of thing, you know. So,
But are they apologists for anything?
what do you mean?
Because that's to me, you know how you're always saying, you're always quoting that Jewish person who said when they came for this, came for that. And it is a Jew who
Yeah,
said
Jew.
it.
Yeah.
And then when they came for me, there was nobody to speak. A lot of lawyers, to me, fail in the area of not speaking
Okay.
because you feel like you might be out of position. If you speak, you don't know
Who's going to come against
what
it?
consequences will be. Yeah.
So
yeah.
so with that in mind, and it is a
And it's
real
not just lawyers, because
everybody, it's everybody. It affects everybody.
Right.
It is a real, it is a real challenge that you face mentally when you decide to stand up to power and speak to power, because you don't even know what they're gonna do.
But let me tell you, Percy, you know what the real challenge is for me? From I was itty bitty, meaning even as a child, my challenge is shutting up.
Okay.
I cannot see something that I
Injustice.
know is not right,
Yes.
or I feel is not right, or I'm even doubtful about it,
And don't
and
stand
be
up.
quiet. I can't. My constitution is just built along different lines. Different. And it's not, I don't see the perpetrator, to be honest with you. So I'm not overwhelmed by the person's authority or greatness or whatever they might be carrying. What I see is the situation, and I see the victim. There are few things.
Justice in a justice
Is in my blood.
Injustice make your blood run hot.
I can't. I see something, no matter how small or big. If it's not right, I have a difficulty keeping silent. So,
and trying
but
to
some
fix it.
people, yeah, like what you were saying now, some people have the different thing. They don't know how to speak. That men have no problem with that.
But
I
it's like it like
couldn't go to my bed if I know that I saw something. I should have done something about it. The first thing is, when I see something wrong, I don't debate whether or not I should do something about it. I have the belief that the reason I see it is because I should do something about it.
okay.
If it wasn't for me, I wouldn't see it. Because we walk around all the time and many things are going on and we are not even aware.
Oh,
So
is it-
it's not for us.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if I see it, if my eyes fall on it, then that means it is for me to do something about it. I may wonder what to do and how to do it, but you bet your bottom
You
dollar,
go find a solution.
me I go find a way.
Well, and I can understand that because I cannot get into a situation and see things going here I'm scared. I not try help.
That's why they call you fast,
So what them call you?
not fast.
so what do they call you when you
Oh, they call me a warrior.
okay?
It's
that's
funny, you know.
amazing.
Person fast, minute a warrior.
No, but it is, and it is it is kind
That one choked me.
My Lord, it's our 8 o'clock break. It's our 8 o'clock break. Oh boy, they got this.
Yeah. Yes.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
This is your beloved Pastor Percy from the Morning Connection. Support our commitment to Jamaica by joining us on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when we pray for the nation. Show us you care. Advertise with us. For more information, call our offices at 876-276-8935.
Good morning and welcome back. Percival is about to be treated to delicious local fruits by one of the ladies from JD's Urban Pub. Pastor Lowell and I are just going to look on and turn up the sacrifice with the fast.
No, but you know,
Oh,
when,
thank you so much. I'm going to describe all that's on his
thank-
plate.
oh boy.
I'm kidding. No, the melon catch my eye because the red of the melon is just matching your shirt,
Yes, it
and I
is.
can see the pineapples. So of course, thank you to JD's Urban Pub. The food plate has arrived for Pastor Percival, who had to watch us eat in some time gone by. Really? Did you? Well, yeah, you were fasting and we were not. Now we're fasting. We're open about the business of fasting because we want it to become kind of a normal conversation. Yes, depriving yourself, denying your body of the food that it craves and the comfort that it craves is an excellent way to heighten your own spiritual connections.
And
It
sensitivity.
is why, and sensitivity. It's why we fast. Most people say when you get when you're hungry, people get angry and snappish. That's the wrong response. That's when you're dieting, not when you're fasting. Watching Pastor Percival. Yeah, if you're dieting and you find that you get angry and snappish, make it into a spiritual fast. You know, one where you're praying and you're meditating
Reading
and
the word,
you're seeking to achieve a higher plane of connectivity to your environment and the people around you.
not drawing attention to yourself, because remember when Jesus and he blasted them, he said, everybody knows so now fast, but that's not the whole thing. You are personally afflicting yourself, but you're going about doing your own thing,
Yeah.
because fasting is a personal thing.
For sure.
It's a personal thing that allows you to do that. When we were going on the break, you were just relating to me the corruption in the justice
yes.
system and how
Seems like a long time ago.
how it works. And you were just talking about some of the time you think it's the judge, but a lot of time you have practiced and you've seen how not judges, lawyers have put
Yeah.
their clients at risk in terms of how they are dealing with
With
the
matters.
the judge. And I'm saying, oh boy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because in all the different, there are several actors in the theater of justice, and each have their different roles. Some roles operate in opposition; they're contentious roles. Some require cooperation in order for things to function well. But in all of this, every role is occupied by
a
a
person.
red-blooded human being.
Yeah.
And we are vulnerable to the same failings and weaknesses.
Wow, isn't that
And
great?
the training that we get is only a layer on top of who we are. The balloons are popping. Yeah. So the training you get as a lawyer is layered on the kind of person you are.
Correct.
If you're, say, like I said to you, I can't see some injustice that, impinges itself on my consciousness, and not feel a responsibility to do something, even if it's to write a letter. It used to be so funny because I used to say, I'm going to write a letter. There were some days when that's about all you could think of. You're going to send a note to so and so. And then later on, when it was email, I'll send an email. And, the technology carries you. But I have that. That's me. That's not me being lawyer. That's Minette, who's trained as a lawyer and therefore can choose some other options that somebody similarly motivated as myself would not readily conceive of. As a consequence, I believe I've been of assistance to many people with strange problems because once I hear it, I
You're the
feel that
solution.
there's something I can do about it, and I will offer a solution. I will even volunteer it. Now, my mother is like that. Oh, don't tell my mother a problem that you have. She don't stop coming up with solutions. And I believe I have that. Maybe, I suckled that one from her.
But
But that's a part of my makeup. Some persons are naturally evasive, and so when you see them practice, they practice the same way.
okay.
They want to hide things, and there's a thing we used to call litigation by ambush. Of course, the whole trend in law is to move away from ambush, but you still have some lawyers who feel that the best strategy is to hide something up your sleeve. And when you're,
Wait until
they gotcha, the gotcha type practice.
But that is you have a term for it in law now. For the see it happen in the courts where the prosecution withholds something from the defense.
Disclosure.
Yeah.
Now, disclosure at all levels is now a part of the functioning democracy, and it's a human rights issue, which is why here in the Vibes Cartel matter, you heard them talking about constitutional right, privacy. There was a privacy issue because phones were taken, and I mean, I heard one of the lawyers saying it. I think it was Mr. Buchanan himself saying that when, in spite of the law that says you have the right to take information from someone's device, in spite of that law, whenever you are doing it without the person's consent or knowledge, you must still be mindful that a device opens you up to a plethora of information,
All the things that
which
are there.
may not be relevant. And you saw that issue came up
with
with
Taylor Swift.
that lady.
Oh.
Remember the lady whose son was murdered in Montego Bay?
Yeah, yeah.
And they were determined to get into her phone.
And the matter got to
though-
Supreme Court.
And she resisted to the last. Now that they have the phone, quite rightly, we have not heard what, golden nugget they got from it. But a person is entitled to their privacy on matters that are not connected to the crime you're investigating.
Because they put that at the phone and find out all different.
Yes,
and
man.
Oh, Jesus have mercy.
I remember the day after I spoke about it, somebody sent me a note and said, boy, them really have to get into their wife phone now because
Oh, Lord Jesus.
what could she be hiding?
Oh, no.
Because- Yeah, I was saying, maybe she have pictures there with that would hurt the marriage, but be of no interest to the police, but could destroy the marriage.
Jesus.
She's entitled to fight to protect that.
Oh, my
Anyway, so
Lord.
that's an issue here because there was a request for information, from his phone and text messages, and I heard a part about like that disclosure was made of some messages, and when it went to court, some of the messages disappear. Whatever. That had to do both with privacy
that
as well as control, chain of custody concerning the material
And
taken
that has
from the
become
phone.
and that has become a problem. I think in terms of I hear it again, chain of custody, and cases are thrown out
Of course.
because of chain of custody. Who have
Of
it,
course.
who never have it.
Who might have, who might have tampered with it? Because these things, take for example, do you know, you can copy a text message that was sent to you, copy it, place it in another field where it's editable, and change what the person said.
Yeah. It's like what happened with Taylor Swift and the AI generated nudity photos.
There you go. So this is the world in which we
Yes, sir.
operate. Therefore, if you see, it always goes back to integrity, because the chain of custody rules are to preserve the integrity of the information so that whomever is handling it can say, this is the real deal.
But
And if you have a police force and if you have actors in that arena who can't be trusted,
yeah, because the thing is based upon trust and integrity.
covenant, those are covenant principles.
And when you look about it, there's a lot, even for this case, with Vibes Cartel, and you made a thing in that he was loyal to one side, and there was
Yeah, man.
really wanted to get him
They wanted
out.
to get rid of him. I was saying, why such an appetite for young Mr. Palmer? Of course, he has my maiden name, so I was feeling like, why Why are they hunting him?
Why are they going after the Palmas?
Yeah, outside of the music, which was, but you've got to choose in a country too where freedom of speech and expression are protected rights. You're gonna spend state resources hunting down one man because he has a potty mouth.
No, not even because of the impact.
But it was his influence.
That's the one they shut
yes.
that down.
And similarly, in a democratic country, you can't go hunting for influential people and shut them down. There's another word for that. That's what they do all the time.
It's happening all over the world.
It's not a democracy anymore.
It's happening all over the world, and people are saying they're doing it, and people are saying we getting there in terms of some of the practices that you see happening
in Jamaica.
All right.
Look, I know you know the cricket. I only know Imran Khan. Right.
They lock him down.
Lock him down.
And him still win.
But he will never see.
But he still win.
He better go find Jesus.
They've done everything.
Everything. And it's not just him. There are other countries where similar things are happening.
Like the lady who got the Nobel Peace Prize in our country, and they locked her down.
Yeah.
Because of the influence.
Because of influence. But they must come
a point. They tried to do that with Jesus. And then
they crucified him. So listen, it ends on a cross.
It ends on a cross, but he wins ultimately.
Ultimately.
It was a part of the purpose of which.
So I am expecting a victory for Vibes Cartel before the Privy Council. If the law is given its plainest, fullest meaning. And I think when he lost before the Court of Appeal, and this is where we have to be very well, that always has a place in every conversation. But we have to be brutally frank about who we are and how we do things.
Yeah, honest with
And if we want to do better, then we gotta start from where we are. Because I find my experience with our Court of Appeal is that you see a lot more politics coming out of it. And I don't mean party politics. I mean managing people's situations for the greater good than justice. And we say justice is blind. Justice needs to be blind because if justice is looking at things and making judgments beyond judging the case that's before her, it's no longer justice. We don't need judges to do that. The head of state can do that. Because the head of state is the chief servant who is supposed to be making decisions for the good of the people. When you say you are in a court of justice, you are more aligning yourself now with the principles that come from the throne of the divine. Much more so, where there is a balancing act to be done based on evidence. If it requires evidence, and you before a court, you must get judgments that can be aligned to the evidence and the principles of law. It can't be social consciousness and political expedience and managing the fallout.
Or managing the narrative.
Yes, trying to set the narrative.
But that has always
and you
been
see with our court now, look at that. Before the court, awaiting a decision, what the situation with the DPP.
Yeah.
Why is that taking any long period of time? It should not. It should be.
They had the hearing.
In that place of
like
the Chief Justice has kind of given. There's like a 30-day or between 30 and 45 days. You've had the hearing. You've heard everything. You have your documents. Sit down and write your judgment. 90 days shouldn't pass. 30 days is the maximum.
Oh, let's say forget today Parliament opens, There's the official opening of Parliament.
How important is that for you?
Well, a lot of things, that means the parliamentary years closed, the implication.
Yeah.
So all of the reports,
the
reports that came from the Integrity Commission, only one. There were two that were investigative that were sent. Only one was said in terms of CMU and the missing vehicles. What is in the other one? Because if you have the parliament
So
years go.
you're gonna carry it over into the next year.
But that's what I try to find
Yes,
out.
that's what that.
So
Yeah.
the question is, what are the implications for us? Yeah, what are they? It just hit me, and I'm saying, if tell me, because you understand how this works better than me in law. If you have closed a parliamentary year because
It
parliament,
only affects your performance in terms of when they would say for this year you did 10 things and it's 5 were carried over. If one were to look at your productivity, that's what it affects. But in terms of the
reports-
legality of what
the
happens,
reports that so that means
Yeah.
it isn't the time in pushback, because if you open parliament and the throne speech, it says they know not, you don't, aren't you restarting, do the things come over,
yeah, man,
right? But
nothing
the-
is abandoned. It just means you didn't complete it in that year and it's carried into another year. So your performance may look bad on those issues, but the ability to press with them and to address them and so on, some might say from a management administrative perspective, they should move to the top of the list.
but that means you might have
But
to readjust.
yes, but
Oh wow! But,
but-
that wow. So it really has implications then.
yeah, but why I asked you what's the significance for you with the kind of supermajority that the government has?
Yes.
Anything they can probably even extend the parliamentary year.
Well, they can do that.
Why not? What is it that they have set their hearts to do that they have not done? This is the Tower of Babel all over again.
Lord Jesus.
The people have the kind of majority that they are writing laws for themselves.
Because you know that they gazetted the thing already.
For the
obno-
ECJ,
yeah.
ombudsman. While today, like the letter of the day, Gleaner, you gotta read the room. Is somebody saying it's a bad idea? Like it's no longer an idea.
It's law.
Yeah, I saw something that says something with it's a bad idea. I'm thinking to myself, does this person know? Transfer of functions, letter of the day. Transfer of functions of the political ombudsman to the ECJ is unwise. Really? It's no law.
No, choosing a police chief is a
Oh, the editorial.
because our friend was
Oh,
gonna
Mr.
come
Rattigan.
online.
I must ask if he's interested in that anymore.
Apply again.
Yeah. Wrapping up the issue with Mr. Cartel, if the law is applied fairly and properly and to the benefit of all of us, he should win. The only issue is there to be a retrial or does he go home? His lawyers have said the damage too great for you to do a further trial. And they may well be right.
That should be
Yeah.
interesting.
Time for a break? 8:30, 8:31. Good morning and welcome back. You are listening to the Morning Connection on Best 100 FM. We are coming to you today live from the gardens of the Ligony Club in Kingston. Happy to be outdoors as always. It's free flowing Thursdays. Percival and myself are going through a number of issues big on our list, and what we were just discussing before the break, corruption in the administration of justice. Looking in particular at what has happened with the case against Mr. Vibes Cartel. I think this is what, it was 2014. So with the passage of time and maybe the cooling of tempers, the legal issues are in sharper relief for those who care to really analyze them. And a big issue was the fact that a juror of whom it was alleged that he had offered to bribe other members of the jury was allowed to remain as a member of the jury to the point of conviction. So it is generally understood that when the jury is contaminated,
Compromise.
you start over. Apparently by that time they had already lost one juror.
Okay.
Because there was an issue with a member of the jury. It was discovered midstream, it seems, that her son was incarcerated in the prison system, and she had a concern about the safety of her son's life. If she's in a high-profile trial, perhaps some danger to her son could be used to influence her decision. That's a big deal. So she was released.
She was honest enough to say
Yes, and I don't know if it is that some threat was made or whatever. So she was released.
But you were saying the gentleman in question who was
Later on convicted and spent time.
you were saying to the best of your
Clean, honest, straightforward man.
wow.
Mr. Kane drove our son. He was just, you'd have to meet him to understand why I say that, because I know people can be many things and they never show it.
But
But
was straightforward
if
as a man of integrity.
straightforward, yeah, solid guy.
Wow. And him
Solid
spent 9
guy.
months in a prison. for
Yeah,
this.
and persons close to the situation at the time really mourned for him because they knew an injustice was taking place. But you know, a little man coming up against the might of the state, wanting to hold the conviction of an important
Influencer.
individual, yes. And also, when you look at it too, they kept him as a member of the jury, and when the day was done, arrested and charged him. I don't quite remember. I don't remember how they. I just during the time I was otherwise engaged myself, so I don't quite remember how it went for him. But I know that, yeah, it was.
Yeah, but
Difficult.
but I tell you, you know,
There's always the little people who get squeezed, you know,
when the
when the dust settle.
when the elephants are in the,
Yes.
something is the ones that come
On ground
under
level.
fold are hurt in regards to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Elephants war.
I I I am very, very concerned with some of the things I see playing out. And even with this election, I remember one of the gentlemen who was speaking and says, let it be a clean and fair election. You remember that?
Yes.
And I wondered to myself, is that was a dog whistling?
Oh, I said throw mud.
Yeah.
Let it be far from clean.
Yeah, and why I said that, because after that, and we don't even understand the implications, you know that somebody has died because of the political campaigning. You heard about the incident in Spanish Town where they were moving on the buses and this guy was on top of the bus and the bus made a sharp turn and he fell off the bus, hit his head. By the time they took him to the hospital, he was a dead man.
So this is in this campaign?
Yes, it has
In
happened.
addition to the woman who lose her leg?
And the lady who broke her foot.
Yeah.
And the lady who, and there's a car accident that has happened, and it's all on one side.
All JLP?
Yes, it's all related to the persons who are supporting. And I remember when I sent you that video about it.
The one with the feast, the Thanksgiving feast,
Yes,
and
and the
the
green
what
and
I
white
call
candles.
the high priestess
And we
lighting her
opened-
candles.
And we open. You see, when we open those kind of doors, they're going come for blood, you know. And it is unfortunate. So we have to be so very careful. The things that we open up, can be me used to it, but Jamaica is under judgment watch, I call it.
The lampstand is being shaken,
Yeah.
man. That's what I've said.
The-
But you know, Percival, you've touched something that is so critical in our understanding of things. Many of us behave as if matters of a spiritual nature
You
are
have no impact.
superstitious stories for uneducated, illiterate people who are going to the Obia man with things tied up in a bag and stupidity. We behave that way. All the while, we are we're making blood sacrifices
Blood
and
covenants,
doing
yes.
and covenants and doing things which draw power. And the ones who are doing it are the same ones trying to convince us that to be of that mind is superstitious and it's something for ignorant, uneducated people. And they're the very ones doing it. I mean, I remember my own pastor saying, you see the world's richest this and the world's biggest that, and you don't know what they do to get there.
You know that. And
You don't know what they do to get there. But there are some people, remember, he's telling us about a very senior man in a high level company who his covenant meant he couldn't, what was it again? Like he couldn't walk into a room face forward.
I remember that
And
too.
he said, when you're around that man, he uses the most creative ways turn sideways, talk to you, and do different things to go into a room. But if you watch him closely, you'll see
And we know that.
never.
But I remember working in a company. I work in many companies, and the gentleman who was at the top,
Mm-hmm.
if you called him, he would not. He couldn't turn. He couldn't turn.
We used to hear about that one.
Yeah, he had to turn face
This
around.
whole, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are all kinds of things that they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, I never noticed it. Lowell pointed it out to me. Whenever he greets you and shake your hand, he wipes it on his chest.
Okay.
And one day Lowell said to me, you notice that he always does? I'm like, just what? Shake your hand, and then what does he do? He'd like wipe it on his chest all the time. I now notice.
They take so many
People
time.
have all kinds of rituals that they do as part of the various covenants. But one of the things that they don't, some of the ones who get drawn into it don't readily understand that there's blood and there's blood. All blood not equal.
We know about the blood
All
that finished it
blood
all.
not equal.
Went into the heaven of heaven
Absolutely.
and destroyed.
Walk into hell and step back out. So when you open your little portals and it look like it is so influential and
working.
impactful against the ones who don't have knowledge, and I confess, I did not always have knowledge. But when we were going through our carousel thing, I saw some things happen, Percival, that is like something is here, you're looking at it, it's real, you see it, you go back, it disappear. Like it never existed. People give you a commitment, say things, and you feel solid because why would they lie? And by the time you look around again, they've gone about face and it's a whole different story. I said to myself, first of all, Minette, this is not normal. Something else is going on here. And eventually I start saying it out loud. I said, this is not normal. This is not normal. But because I believe in God and I believe in God as the source and the power, I turn to him. And that's where I learned that even for you, anointed child of God, it is not one thing, flat level playing field. There are levels and levels and levels, but all roads lead to Golgotha. And like our Lent start, it's a good time to remember all roads lead to that cross. And that cross is the most powerful altar in the world.
Because that altar settled it
Once and for all. So when you open your portal with your green and white candles and your careful dancing and your, bottles of this and that and your Asherah pole, it looked like an Asherah pole, not the pole, not the blue dot pole,
No!
the Asherah pole with your basin and your water and your libations to the spirits and all of those things. Inferior.
Yes.
It is of inferior quality. What you're doing, chicken blood, goat blood against the blood of Christ, it don't even enter the
make any
game.
sense.
And I think that's why you're seeing what you've just described to me.
Because people don't make the connection, but I guess that
We
is
make
one
it
of the,
for them.
That's like one of the things, like you would see there
yes.
are some you say,
Who
but
see it?
and I'm seeing the
You're
I'm
seeing
saying,
the connection.
yeah, so we can't stay there.
Yeah. I didn't know that it was already spitting out
No
stuff.
man, spit out from nomination there when the lady lost her leg.
Yeah, I saw that. I
And
thought that
then-
was a one-off. I didn't know.
No, and then the lady in Portland broke her foot.
Broke our foot.
And then in the same place, meeting an accident. And then I think it's Monday or Tuesday in Central St. Catherine's.
The man dead.
The man fall off of the bus and them was making a, if anybody know, but
Yeah.
when doing on top of
On
the
top
bus,
of the bus when everybody has been saying.
come on, behave on yourself.
Yeah. But
And
let's say this, because green or orange, they are brothers and sisters and citizens of Jamaica and covenant.
we are saying to them,
children.
no, don't go down that road.
There's a word, repent,
Yeah, repent, change,
change.
stop it.
You know you open a door, go close it.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be hard because once they taste blood, they don't want to leave
And
the
the
party.
hello, let me tell you something. And I remember somebody came on the program and talked about a Duppy Corner. You remember that?
Yes, 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 yes.
And I said to them,
Yes.
we know that when innocent blood is shed, the elders would go and say, we don't know, and they make
An
full
atonement.
for it
Yes.
and thing. So it is
It continues to be
in
so.
this nation, we do it. We have done it in India. We have gone to slots where they've discovered. It was so very real for us. There's a member of staff who his aunt was related to a politician. And then they went missing and they couldn't find them.
Who went missing? The
He
staff
went
member
missing.
or the
staff
politician?
member when the staff member went missing, his aunt went missing, and then they found them dead. And there was something about somebody who was in politics. I think it was Walters or one of the guys. Mental Walters, his wife. We had to go to the site to cantonment where they found the bodies. Innocent blind people want to do, we say, we understand the implications.
Gotta break it.
Got to break that. So there are some things we do in obedience to what we hear God saying and what He has revealed in His word. The elders, it was Pastor Miller, who is an elder in the city, come and say, we have to go to the where they found the bodies and make atonement for the innocent blood that was shed. Because he
was
was caught
shed.
in the crossfire, what mix-up was
Whatever was
happening
taking
there.
place.
But we see it all over, and then you notice, like in Central Village, they've discovered a burial site
Yes.
with the
remains
remains of
of-
persons. Yes, no man.
Jamaica,
Wake up.
wake up, wake up, wake up. So we're going into the final segment before
We talk to
we
Mr.
talk to
Mr. Radigan.
Mr. Rattigan. So I want to tell you a little bit about this man who has, I wouldn't say catapulted, it's been a fairly slow climb, or maybe it's taken time. But before speaking to him, I did ask to receive his CV. Today he signs his name as Wilfred Rattigan, attorney at law, FBI supervisory special agent, retired.
Retire.
Yeah. So he's retired from the Federal Bureau of Investigations,
He's not a dibby gentleman.
where he had a lengthy and it looks like a storied career in law enforcement. So some of the issues, some of the areas in which he takes an interest, now that he is one of the main voices for the, let me call the name of the foundation, the One Jamaica. But hold on a minute, didn't Pastor Al have a One Jamaica, a One Jamaica company as well from your church?
I mean,
No?
Bill
You remember?
Jamaica. Bill Jamaica
No,
Foundation.
not a One Jamaica.
Bill Jamaica.
It was Build
Found-
Jamaica. Okay.
Foundation. Yeah.
So the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation is the organization through which he's doing most of his activism these days. How does he describe himself? As a premier, high achieving and experienced retired federal law enforcement manager. He's a security expert with specialized knowledge and experience in the full spectrum of diplomatic relations, private industry to government agency collaborations, and law enforcement tactics, training, and strategies. I've read that because I want you to know that above all else, this man is a security professional at the highest level. He has worked with the FBI from look like him IDM,
I see that.
people would say, because when I look at the various pages of his CV, he's been a special agent in New York, a special agent, assistant legal attaché, dealing with matters in Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Yemen, and Kuwait, facilitating even training opportunities, cross-border security alliances. He's dealt with that. He was stationed in Saudi Arabia for at least 3 years. I see that in the early 2000s, that's where he was. And he has done time in Washington and New York, again, working with the counterterrorism division. So some of the organized crime issues that we're having in Jamaica, he will look at it with entirely different eyes
And his
from
experience, and you know what to look
average
for.
person. Right. He's been the acting assistant special agent in charge for the New York office, counterterrorism division. That's a big position. Even I know that from watching all this stuff. He's worked in the intelligence field, again through the FBI. I'm looking at his Washington years. You know what caught my eye? He was stationed in Pretoria,
Yes, I saw
my
that.
my other country, South Africa. He was stationed in South Africa
With the U.S.
for
Embassy
3 years,
there,
working as a
the
legal
legal
attaché
attaché.
in the office of the United States Embassy. While in South Africa, he had responsibility for 16 countries, South Africa, Botswana, and Zimbabwe being amongst them. So he's had a very, very
Understand the
interesting
international
career,
crime.
yes. And his time in Africa is I must ask him 1 or 2 questions about that. And then, he spent the rest of his career working in Washington, it seems like, until sometime in the 2017, he came to Jamaica.
Set
It
up a
says he
company.
set up a company in Jamaica, Fourth Rock Consultants, looking at full service law enforcement issues. I seem to recall him offering his services as commissioner of police
Yeah.
and not being taken seriously. I remember it seemed to have been, it's like it was, remember when this other senior policeman had offered himself
What's that?
with the aviator glasses?
Oh, you mean, I know you're
What's his name
talking.
again? Yeah,
Renato
Renato.
Adam
Right.
in Tivoli.
Yes, his offer and Renato's offer were kind of in some little box where,
Yeah, but same.
people didn't seem to take it seriously. But this is a very serious. He has serious experience and training. But above all else, above everything else, the man is a bona fide Jamaican, interested in seeing things prosper in Jamaica as a member of the diaspora. He's outside there, being a part of an organization whose sole mission is to hold government of Jamaica accountable to the people.
And it's
Recently,
interesting when they talk about police chief. 'Cause do you know that Major Anthony thing comes to an end in April, this contract?
I did not know.
That's what it, that's
Oh,
what,
that's why
yes.
the Gleaner. Oh, the Gleaner
Unless
is
he
on
has
point.
changed his mind about serving a third term,
Yes,
Anthony Anderson will step down as Jamaica's police chief
I
sometime in
see what's going on
April.
there. So the Gleaner is raising it early.
Yeah.
Because if he's demitting, if his contract ends in April, we should be full on hunting for a
For
replacement.
replacement, yeah.
And if you're not hearing about it, it means they're just gonna move into a renewal,
Right.
like they did with Paula. And his is contractual. His is not a statutory position, so they can do that even more quietly. Oh, Jamaica.
Jamaica.
How do you feel about being stuck with that same commissioner? We don't know nearly enough about who would replace him, and I certainly am no fan of Mr. Bailey. Would Mr. Bailey be a front runner? Fitz Bailey. Fitz Bailey? Yes. Percival.
As you talk about Fitzgerald, what happened to the major drug boss at the
Precisely.
Did you hear anything
When-
about him? About
Yeah.
all these other things, and that is a year plus now. It's like a year and September, October. Yeah, it's a year, 4 months. What is happening? You had said there may have been some legal wranglings as to who is who with but we must hear
They
something.
must have settled by now. Must have settled by now.
No, sir. Oh my Lord.
Huge find of United States cash, drugs, guns, all kinds of things that happen. Even the SSL debacle.
Get it?
You can't see, you're not seeing substantial headway with any of these things, or they just die away. I was watching something recently because we're going to be speaking to Mr. Rattigan shortly, and one of the issue was, what of these recommendations for the prosecution of the government ministers who were found wanting after the Integrity Commission completed their reports? Marissa Dalrymple being one of them. What happened to those cases? They just kind of, fade into the woodwork.
Yeah, so it's
So you have those kinds of issues which remain to be addressed. So are we in a position to promote from within.
We have
You
some good
don't-
people there now.
Yeah, but you don't kind of the one whom we've been seeing a lot of is
Crime chief.
Mr. Bailey.
And Mr. Bailey have foot in mouth disease some of the time.
I like how you put it. Oh,
But I don't know.
Okay.
It's kind of unfortunate, but
all right. It's just about time for the 9 o'clock.
yeah, it's
9 o'clock break.
So we look forward with. I'm looking forward to talking to Mr. Rattigan.
Yeah.
Looking forward to all the things that will happen. God is not mocked.
Be
and
not
even
be deceived.
God is not mocked. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
in the beautiful outdoors of the Ligony Club. It's Free Flowing Thursday. Minette and Percival are having fun in the sunshine, fun in the sun. And we are delighted to have on air with us none other than Mr. Wilfred Rattigan, a bona fide Jamaican son of the soil, and one who has made it a mission in his retired years to champion the cause of Jamaica itself. He is one of those who is seeking to hold the government accountable through a number of strategies, and we remember him quite famously for a few things. One, offering himself his services as Commissioner of Police, and then more recently, leading a legal challenge against the government's failure to disclose information concerning the financial support from private sector giants or princes, as Percy and I like to call them, princes. Mr. Rattigan is online with us, and I think if you're watching on YouTube, you should also be seeing him. Very youthful looking retired man. Good morning, Wilfred. How are you?
You hearing him?
Good morning, good morning.
But
Okay.
even as we continue to introduce a very brave man,
Yes.
a gentleman, as you were relating to the
We're
fact that
hearing you now. You know, the pause in your response was giving us more time to just speak of your virtues. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. I hope that it is the first of several conversations, because what you are doing is what Percival and I are hoping every conscientious Jamaican will do for themselves as well as for the nation. So, what got you started on this path? Yes.
You know, and he had no interest in serving, helping. We were just there just to criticize. And then it dawned on me that listen, I don't have a lot of skills, but I do have some skills that might be of interest and worth to Jamaica. And I said, instead of us sitting here and criticizing, maybe we should start doing something. And that what spurred me into mission. It actually started back in 2000, I want to say 2012, when the Jamaican government asked me through the High Commission in South Africa to apply for the job of the police commission, because they had a program of mapping the diaspora. And the whole purpose was to look through the diaspora, find skill sets needed in Jamaica, and try to recruit them to come back. That's how I ended up applying for the job the very first time. So I offered self and service. I did it 3 times. And then after that, I was like, sit down. Not gonna bother. Just flip out the whole thing. But then I started looking around and really interested in
Other happenings. Yeah.
And you see the background behind it. It's my inspiration. In fact, that's my first house. That's the yard I've lived in the house. And every morning I come, every time I do a show, look at that background. That's the only inspiration. Because that picture was taken last year. People, my relatives still live in Waterhouse, my friends, some of them still live in Waterhouse. And so I find it very difficult, in fact, impossible to turn my back on it.
So
There's never,
I did notice
whenever I
the
can help.
I did notice the background, and I'm glad you've raised it. Myself, I come from a rural community, and it has been a sore spot for me that my community has not changed as much between my childhood and now as I would have liked it to, given developments in technology and what we see in other parts of Jamaica. Do you have a similar concern for your community?
Yes, indeed, because it hasn't changed much since I left. That fence was there when I left in 1977. They may have changed a few sheets of zinc, but you know,
It's still zinc.
still have some rust on it. Right. So it hasn't changed much. Every time I travel to the I make it a point of duty to go down there and drive to one city neighborhood. And like I said, I still have friends, I still have people who report to know what's going on almost on a daily basis. So I keep in touch with my community. And then also, you know, I left Jamaica when I was 17. Those 17 years, I think I moved 14 times. So I've lived all over. I've lived in Cherokee constituency, I've lived in PNP constituency. In fact, this street, that yard you're looking at, that street, Penwood Prison, I lived at 3 different locations on that street. I lived at 41 Penwood Prison, 39 Penwood Prison. So I've moved around a lot. I went to Meadowbrook, so I saw different slice of life from what I was accustomed to. The whole, it's like night and day, 2 different Jamaicans. So that's what really got me started.
So the motivation is very strong because you have still very strong links to the Jamaica.
Because you have been looking at the accountability of government, I'm going to ask you to just give me a list of the failings of government which you would say contribute to the lack of development in your community.
Very first one has to do with the Ministry of National Security. That's the very first one. Because everyone will tell you, foes and friends alike, that crime is the biggest impediment to complete development of Jamaica. They'll tell you that it costs billions of dollars per year. And the accountability factor there stems from the fact that we have, and let's just talk about leadership.
Yes.
If you want to fix something, if you want to, if you have a problem, a dental problem, you're not gonna go see you're not gonna go see a plumber, right? You're gonna go see a dentist. You have a water leak, you're not gonna go see a doctor. You're gonna go see a plumber, and so on and so forth. Now, we've been told that crime is a huge problem and that it's a priority ministry, and responsibilities are also priority, which is to safety, security, insurance, and now look at the leadership. And when you look at the leadership, you'll find that the person who heads the department is a medical doctor, no law enforcement. And some people will say, well, they really don't need that because the person is going to save policy, not going to implement policy. The person not going to be operation. That person just going to set policy. Well, I would venture to say that if you're going to set policy, you should have some idea about the subject matter. You know how you're going to set policy about something you have. So you have the minister who has no experience about it. Then you have the deputy minister, who get no experience.
Oh, she's there now.
She just moved over. Just moved over from this president. Third person is the permanent secretary. She came over from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, no experience. And then finally, you have the military, no experience. So, question: how do we expect to get crime under control? The top 4 people in that ministry, they have no idea.
No relevant experience. Would you say, Mr. Rattigan, that your offer to serve at the highest level in the police force was it taken seriously?
You know, that's an important question. Right? It's hard for me to answer because the only thing I can tell you is second-hand information. Because I was never shortlisted. The 3 times I applied, and I've heard stories to the effect that people just didn't want me because they were afraid that time different management style start looking into people like
Disturb vested
doing
interests.
things exactly. And so the third second, they said no, we don't want it. And in fact, people have said to me that I've managed to accomplish something that part didn't manage to accomplish on their own. And that is, I've managed to have an apology against people.
Against you.
I said, none of them want it. I applied on the PNP and I applied on the JLP. And they
Yes.
said, both of them, they just said, no, we don't want them in the top. This is a problem. Start digging into areas that you shouldn't dig into, looking into at things that you should be looking at. And so they just decide. But again, like I said, that's a very important thing. You really don't have a first-hand answer.
Well, I can tell you that you have shed light on one thing which many citizens may not have known, and it is that you were invited to apply. I think many of us on the outside thought you were volunteering, and it was not taken seriously at all.
Right. You've raised a very, very
2 times I applied.
Yes.
okay.
No, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying in regards to what you would have brought to the process, in regards to you've looked at your resume and you have done extensive work in different countries dealing with transnational crime. And that is something that we need right now. And it blows my mind that they never ever considered you.
He was never shortlisted, so I don't think it was taken seriously at all.
It's kind of
So you,
And, no, go ahead, please. It's a good
all right. Yeah, you clearly have been pursuing an agenda seeking to touch on critical issues in Jamaica. What is the agenda and the priority areas for you?
Okay. The agenda is simple. It's for the people of Jamaica. I don't care what color you represent or what party. I just care that you have a future and that you can live comfortably. And you have opportunities. What do I mean? What does that translate? Translate into like this. The economy of Jamaica, you will hear people boast about excellence at this point in time. But excellence for whom? Not for the people living behind, living in the air in that behind me. You will hear them talk about unemployment rate being 4.2%, the lowest in the history of Jamaica. I won't argue with methodology. Keep certain people. All I'll say is this: quality of the jobs that are there. I'll give you a statistic. 75% of Jamaicans working in home 100 or less US dollars per week. Survive. Barely can survive. Especially if you have a family. It's just terribly, terribly difficult. The prosperity has not reached where it should, and that is to the masses. You have certain people within the country getting rich on the internet. so yeah, between rich and poor, almost, I was gonna say, it's just wide, like anyone is just wide. So for me, I would like to see the promised services. I would like to see them marginalized. They almost forgotten. Don't see that. I would like to see an improvement in the health sector. I would also like to see an improvement in the education sector. I would like to see an improvement in our foreign policy. I would like to see improvement in our infrastructure. I would like to see an improvement in our housing. I would like to see an improvement in just about
In every area of public life. So that begs the question now, Wilfred. Do you have any interest in politics? Because it sounds like you should be on the ground working some of those issues.
They're going to bring about change.
All right, you dismiss that one quickly. I won't press you on it. But
No, I tell you. No. I'll answer the question. I'll answer the question. I have no. I, and I don't. I have no interest in party. My interest is solely take care of the people and go on. I'll be fine, right? But I'm not fine as long as promise service they're not doing it. Then we're gonna have a problem. Because the question that follows from that is, okay, where is the money? Which is one of my favorite questions. Where is the money? And so now we have to track and trace. And as we know, corruption is a huge problem. The Auditor General just in the past $1.6 trillion unaccounted. So, that's my issue. I'm taking up the gauntlet. This is my fight. And
well,
forces will join. Even if I have to do it on my own, I'll do it. Not a problem.
well, we admire you and support you in what you're doing because for us there is a lot of scriptural authority for children in the diaspora taking such an interest and doing what you're doing. So if it matters to you, just know the Lord is with you with what you're doing. You've created a foundation, One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. The One Jamaica Legal Foundation came birth by the result of the losses against the government part of the community. And we decided that it's not enough to identify people. People by and large, they know the issues. People know the question is what we do about correcting. One thing is the sole purpose is profit. This government comes in government. How is it? One, losses. Two, public relations. Three, background investigations of politicians and public officials suspected of being corrupt. Four, protests. Five, engagement with donor funds, donor countries, donor agencies. Those are the five. So far, we've done the lawsuits, we've done protests, or we started lawsuits, we started protests, and we are getting ready to get donor countries, donor agencies, and so on.
All right, so I want to know how satisfied are you with the progress so far on the different fronts? And I'll start with the lawsuit. The one that caught my attention is for Miss Kamina, Senator Kamina Johnson, and her, I call it the Commonwealth caper. How satisfied are you with the results?
Look, but if you're always concerned about judgment that is favor. However, now the one thing clear about this, I respect the judgments of people. I disagree with it, but I respect it. And I don't hold any personal grudge because others have indicated that that's the case. That should be the case against the judge. He made a ruling. I felt that it correct. And so they have a process of called appeal. So if you're dissatisfied with the ruling, you can always appeal and you make your appeal. Court. That's that case. And I'm very confident about the representation that I have right now, that foundation has right now. And I'm very confident in the report that has been submitted. And hopefully, the case will be returned to the court, and then we will go from there. So I'm very confident about it.
What message, though, would you say a judgment of this nature sends to the diaspora? And let's recap a little bit. Concerning your claim, the lawyers who opposed it argued that you had no justiciable rights, meaning whatever right you might have, it wasn't worthy for the attention of a court. They said, as a child of the diaspora, well, a member, you had no standing, no legal standing to hold the Jamaican government accountable. They also said the claim should be struck out without being heard on its merits because your claim was weak. What message do you take then from that as a member of the diaspora with an interest in what's happening locally?
Well, first of all, I am a Jamaican citizen. I was born in Jamaica, raised in Jamaica.
Still have your passport?
Birth certificate that says born in Jamaica. So, and there is a case actually out of Trinidad that essentially stands for the proposition. Born in a country, and it doesn't matter where you live, you have standing in the country of your birth. So we shall see how things go there. For now, the idea of standing, look at it like they're saying that you have to be, I would not materially and directly. Now, taking that.
But you know that would apply to even to Jamaicans living here.
Yeah, well, that's a point because taking that
Conclusion.
take that into logical conclusion. What that says is that if you live in Westmoreland and monies were allocated to do a road in St. Thomas and there's corruption involved, you've never been to St. Thomas and you have no interest in going to St. Thomas. What you're saying is that then you're not materially affected by what happened in St. Thomas. You're not directly, you're not materially, but you live in Westmoreland. So therefore you have no, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. So the idea that a citizen doesn't have standing to win an actual case, government official for acts
That were committed in that office.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm confident that the Court of Appeal,
The Privy Council. Oh. So, but is it encouraging, is what I'm asking?
it's at the Court of Appeal now.
Oh, it hasn't been determined by the Court of Appeal as yet.
No, it's at the Court of Appeal. But I think that it's an issue that is right. Question is, who has standing to bring a loss? That's a fundamental question. And I think any court is willing to take up the task of addressing that issue.
But does it, does it,
One
does,
man is where, Jamaica,
I
Is
want
it
to
that
know
new?
if other persons in the diaspora, in your estimation, would be encouraged or discouraged by that kind of ruling.
they're both. They're encouraged by it in the sense that it has happened and now it's brought the issue to the fore.
I see.
They're discouraged by the fact that it should happen. That yeah, that discouraged that a court would move that way. But they're
Yes.
encouraged because they're saying no, it's getting the spotlight that it deserves, and now we will know for sure.
Now you know how you're regarded. Yes. All right, we're at the 9:32 mark. Let me just look at the producer, if we can continue. All right. I don't want to break and just lose the energy. So I did ask you to list the areas in which you would like to see change, and you have already explained, you've touched on everything: housing, health, education, security, the lack of competence in leadership, and so on. You've done one lawsuit. You've been doing a steady public relations campaign. Do you feel that you're touching the hearts and minds of other persons in the diaspora and locally? How is that PR going?
Well, Rome wasn't built in a day. Very patient.
I
Have to be.
very patient
I
man.
understand these things. Yeah, I understand that these things they take time. Steady work. And I don't look at numbers. I just focus on the message.
What
I've said to people time and time again, I don't have ideas. I don't have.
You're blinkered.
Okay. Um, can I
People will come to you from the side, they'll try to opposite. The issue will be. Go ahead.
do you think that the way that we are set up constitutionally is a deterrent to all the things you have spoken about in terms of getting real change in the lives of Jamaica?
The Constitution, that's an interesting question. Of course, it needs to be. In my opinion, it should be abolished and we come up with something that makes Canadian experience. Because what we have is something that comes from England and it's also not from the state. And I don't think it captures the essence of Jamaica. So while they're tinkering around the edges with it, I think what should actually be the mission and say, look, we'll give 3 years. We'll continue to work with this. But we're going to give you 3 years to come up with something that will reflect Jamaica. Also, in addition to the Constitution, we just don't have the leadership that is required to steer this ship into safe harbor. We just don't have it. That is the problem, and that is a problem that is front and center. Far too often, we treat our politicians as celebrities as opposed to being servants. They're there to serve the people. And we have advocated that for years. And now we look at these politicians as demigods. Instead of saying, I'm going to hold you responsible for taking care of my welfare, because there's a social contract that we entered into. The social contract called me to vote for you and for you to provide.
To do certain things.
And
You know,
time and time in the politics.
the more disturbing reality, the more disturbing reality for us is not people seeing politicians as celebrities, it's the politicians buying into it. That's the real damage. They are behaving now as though they are celebrities and demigods. But may I have to ask you this? What is your main tool for the PR and persons who want to participate? Where do they go?
Well, I have a program every Saturday. It's called Reason with Ratigan. and it's on Reggae Global Radio (RGR), and it's also on YouTube. Comes on at 3 p.m. every Saturday, and we have a start time, but just don't have an end time because the program sometimes it goes non-stop from 3 to 11 p.m.
Wow.
And for the last 2 weeks, yeah, non-stop. And it's a steady number. People come on and they stay on. Because on the program, we don't talk about personalities and people's private lives. We talk about the relationship between government and the people. What should be done, what's not being done, how to govern what they're doing, and we try to get behind the story. It says, look, for example, we said former Speaker Marissa Dalvin Philibert, she should be prosecuted because her case was investigated by the Integrity Commission, was approved by the corruption prosecutor, was tabled by the Parliament, and yet we have no idea where that case is. And when I talk to the DPC, she tells me in writing, I don't know anything about it.
Oh,
These are the things, these are the stories that we, because we don't believe in 9-day one. Every story that we do, we continue to follow up. For example, the fertilizer, the missing fertilizer, we started that, I don't know, a year or so ago. And recently we saw where fertilizer was being delivered.
distributed. Yes,
Places where fertilizer should be delivered.
not
And
farms.
then we also have pipe bombs. 350 pipe bombs, and as we know, through international experience, fertilizer is a major component of pipe bombs. And they found more than 300 pipe bombs in Jamaica. And if you notice, that story just died.
I didn't even know of it.
9 days
Did you
ago.
know of it?
No, I know about the missing fertilizer and being
So
delivered
it's
in the night.
not for farming. Well, I hope the listener. No, I'm realizing from what you're saying that the fertilizer was not for farming. If so many pipe bombs were found.
It came in for farming. And there's a delivery mechanism. It wasn't followed because the way, and I have the documentation, and that's one of the things that's so nice about my program because I put the documents up and then I put them on the website so people can actually visit them. By the way, it's ojldm.org. It's One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation.org. It's abbreviated ojldf.org. And we're supported through the beneficence of common, just common people.
Ordinary folk.
Believe in what we're doing. And they said, okay, we make a contribution. Right. So, because, we can't have researchers working for free, so we can't have lawyers working for free, so we have to pay those people.
Well,
That's how we continue to survive.
I have promised our listeners that we're going to have other conversations with you so they can get a deeper look into what you are doing and how it can help Jamaica. But I want you to tell me a little bit now about the protests. So we've done the legal actions, the public relations, and your other strategy is using protests. What's coming up in your neck of the woods?
Yes. Because, yes, I'm so glad that you asked about it. Last month we staged for the very first time in the history of Jamaica protests by diaspora members against it was historic, it was epic, it was momentous. We had approximately 60 people in total who came and left. We didn't have 60 people congregated at one spot. People came and left. And we were told right after that the protest was a dismal failure because we didn't have the numbers. But even if we had one person out there, it would have been historic. But it's twisted.
Ironic.
Ironic that they said your
protest.
was a dismal failure. No, they're saying your protest caused the American government to issue this
Travel
advisory against Jamaica, and it's hurting the economy as far as tourism is concerned. So I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Or is the
or of great impact.
Because I've been mixed messages from the government. But I'm telling you, it was a very lively crowd, very enthusiastic. Uh, we only had, and when I said there's a group, a core group of people got together and decided to do this. And we had only 10 days from the time the permit was issued to stage the protest. Now, the permit was issued for only 49 people. Only 49 people could congregate at one point. So I don't know what the big fuss is about the numbers. And the permit is there for everybody to see. Now, we have another protest on May the 10th. And it's going to be held at the new location for the consulate in New York. For that protest, we have months to prepare for this. So we're doing the PR thing. In fact, I'm supposed to meet the police again, call them. I make that trip, but we expect a large turnout, and a very vocal turnout.
And there's no restriction on numbers.
There's no restriction. There's no restriction. So, and I know the government is very, very afraid of it because in 30, and now they call us the ambassador. She said 30. It's funny because first she was saying, she was blaming the State Department. State Department did this, State Department had no justification, blah, blah, blah. Now she turned around and she said, oh, there are 30 people responsible. So now we call ourselves the Dirty 30.
The dirt,
What?
dirty 30.
The Dirty 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're fine with that. But here's something that must tell minute.
Yes.
Must tell you and first. You know, think about the effort. And in fact, the ambassador met with the State Department. I don't know what happened. I know that. But think about the effort that government has put into this to try and get the State Department to relent. And they said that they're doing it because they said approximately 0.01% convicted in Jamaica is committed against foods. And I said, well, what about the 1,300 plus of our brothers and sisters who were slaughtered last year? How about the 1,490 in 2022? How about the 1,616 in 2017? How about the 1,330 in 2019? How about the 1,464 in 2021? We don't seem to care about our own people. And every single life that's lost to a criminal act, it's tragic.
It's tragic.
Tourists, tourists or expats or whatever, tragic. But you're there now doing the rounds on TV, doing this, doing all of these things, and you forget that you have 1,350
Jamaicans.
slaughtered last year. Not only that, don't forget that, and they shouldn't be worried about that. Last year, remember, there was a publication on the Washington that one of the safest places. And then we realized that they were talking about for tourists. And they're right, 0.01%.
It's safer than being in America.
Yeah, but they really don't care about us. Herein lies the problem. There's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of we have to do something now to solve this problem. We talk about it, we come up with some kind of plans for Jamaica, and when you read it, it's a very good plan. In
But-
writing, but in implementation, it's a monumental thing.
And
They talk about protecting our borders.
and
We have planes flying in and violating the airspace.
Well,
Unchallenged.
we have planes that land with millions of dollars worth of cocaine, and then you hear nothing more about it. Yeah. So
but you know,
Yes.
Mr. Rattigan, what you have highlight is a damning indictment on our government, because if they are saying to us it's only 0. Tourists are affected, but what about the Jamaicans? Because they are elected by Jamaicans to govern us as Jamaicans.
we're in agreement with your assessment. That's
Yeah.
it. It's an uncaring administration. All right, we're
And then
coming.
keep in mind,
Yes.
when just one quick point. When the government took over in 2016, in 2015, 1,200 start in the year before. Then they took over in 2016, and it went up to 1350. The year after that, it went to 1660. We haven't seen anything close to 1,200. We haven't yet.
So it keeps climbing.
Continue. They continue to proclaim that they spend more money fighting for any other administration. They continue to proclaim that transform this. Continue to proclaim
Yes.
resource rich. And then when you look around, you say, then where is the bang for the buck?
Right.
Where are the results? We don't see it. We see negative results.
Yes, it's moving in the wrong direction.
Correct.
Mr. Rattigan, I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. As you know, we want to speak more. There are a lot of things that we'd love to cover because integrity, governance, leadership, and even with local government elections looming, what the diaspora can do and is doing is a very important conversation for the Morning Connection. So I do hope you will return. Some persons were not hearing you as clearly as they would have liked, and they've already said, you need to come back. So I wish you all the best with the plans. Any final word?
I'm at your service. It's been my pleasure. No, I said, I'm at your service. And it's been my pleasure. This morning, whatever you need.
We
Thank you
salute
so much.
Good. But as we say bye-bye, I went to his webpage and it says, and this is a very interesting quote. It says, if you
Read it.
just find it.
Speak. What are you reading from his
His
webpage?
webpage. It says, if you turn a blind eye to corruption, you lose the other eye. As a, ooh, if you turn a blind eye to corruption,
Yeah,
you
man,
lose
you
the
lose
other
the good eye.
Yeah.
Lose the
And
good
so
eye.
we really want to applaud them for what they're doing because they could just say, I know my problem. I don't live here.
But you and I know they can't.
Yeah,
Back to what we were speaking before, and I said to you that the way I'm built, the way I'm wired, if I see something, if it comes onto my consciousness, it means I'm supposed to do something, and I can't ignore it. So here we have people in the diaspora, of whom the Lord Almighty has said in Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 16 to 21, read it for yourself. The Lord says, though I sent you far away, where I send you will be a sanctuary for you. I'll take care of you there. But then I'm going to bring you back. Your hearts will turn to your country, and I will give you a new heart. I'll give you a heart of flesh, not of stone. So the things that are happening in Jamaica that seem to overwhelm us and we can't bother, or it's just news, it's just gossip. For him, it is a mission.
It's a mission.
And he's
Man
not
on a
alone
mission.
in it.
Other
I
people
really,
have joined. So for
Yeah.
those persons who want to, their webpage is One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation, and you can visit it.
You can
and
contribute
contribute
as
if
well
you want, because
to what they're doing.
one cocoa full basket, and they
And
are
this
doing
basket need to be filled
full,
up
yeah, because
and
they are
running
fighting
over.
on our behalf. They don't have to do it, but they have said,
doing it.
no, man, we are doing this. So, and you know, as we close and as we continue into this election seasoning and electioneering,
Reflection seasoning.
seasoning
Percy, I
and
think you're ready to
electioneering, seasoning. Are you
I caught it. I would love to
seasoning?
eat.
You love to eat, but you can't eat at
I love
all.
eating. I have vow. I'm on the vows.
You are on a vow, and you've made that vow, and it is so important that you. Right. So, Proverbs 6 and verse 18. I leave this with us as we are out there and we're listening to all of the things that God says. These 6 things the Lord hates. Yes, 7 are an abomination to him: a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. The gentleman last week that was saying that he never did anything wrong, apologize to the people. The gentleman, Mr. Jones, whatever, in St. Thomas, he was saying he never did anything wrong. And
he has
he's
apologized now.
apologized and saying sorry.
So you're saying yay for repentance.
Yes. Yeah, for repentance, but talk truth all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, you know, when you come to your senses, it's good to
Come to it.
come to your senses.
Yeah.
All right. I've got to say thank you. I see Taki has said something that is just kind of touching. He says, once born a yard, the yard stay in us. Still live in us, he says. So you're Jamaican, you're living abroad, you're still Jamaican.
Yeah.
And we love you for that. We don't want you to try and vote and choose a government that the rest of us have to live with while you're over there pointing fingers. We don't take it that far. But certainly the activism, helping us to keep the government accountable when we ourselves are unable to carry the weight of it at home, is blessed work you're doing. So Mr. Rattigan and the other
Blessings to
members
you
of
and
his
favor.
foundation, the favor of the Lord is with you. As for me and mine,
We will serve the Lord.
we certainly will serve the Lord. And we will be serving the Lord in a foreign country for a few days come Monday.
Yeah. So
So Pastor Lowell and myself on our sabbatical again. We'll see you when we get back at the end of the month.
at the end of the month, yes.
Percival and Co. will hold the fort. So Lloydie back in the studio there. Thank you, my brother. All of you fine people online, thank you for paying attention. And right here to Lowell and Pastor Percival, a heartfelt thank you.
Love is in the air.
Still?
Very much so.
All right, it's a virus.
It's a virus, and it's a wonderful virus for us to catch. Let's love one another the same way like how Christ loved
We're
us.
going to Pfizer it.
Yes. We don't need it. We just need
No
the Holy
Pfizer
Spirit today.
boosters.
We don't need,
All
we don't,
right,
don't need
it's
the Holy
over and
Spirit.
out for us here at the Morning Connection. Have a blessed weekend, everybody.